The Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers heads to South Haven, Michigan at Gingerman Raceway for rounds 3 and 4. The big questions coming out of rounds 1 and 2, will anybody be able to answer Ruben Zaus at the front of the Bagger GP class? Will Arnie Wells be able to mix it up with Cody Gilmore at the front of the Pro Stock class? And will Jake Masters be able to continue his success at the front of the Super Street class? Along with this, we'll have all the high-flying action from the brand new metric classes that we've got here at BRL 2024. We're going to get the action kicked off here in just a moment, live on Racer TV. Hello everybody and welcome to round number 3 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. We're here at Gingerman Raceway in South Haven, Michigan for the doubleheader weekend for round 3 and 4. My name is Zach Heron and I'm alongside established BRL racer, now turned commentator, Tony Tucker. Tony, it's been about 5 weeks since our opening rounds out in Nebraska. What stuck out to you from the opening weekend and what are you excited about seeing here in Michigan?
Yeah, I think the big takeaways from 1 and 2 is our bagger classes, GP, Pro Stock, Super Street. We all had 1-1 finishers in each of those classes. You know, we had Ruben Zaus, Cody Gilmore, Jake Masters, all taking home 1-1 finishes on the weekend. Have the teams done their homework, and can anybody step up and challenge those racers?
It's going to be very exciting to see for sure. We want to welcome all of our Racer TV watchers at home. The partnership between BRL and Racer TV was announced last week, and we're extremely excited to have you on board for the rest of the 2024 season. To give a little bit of context here, we have our 3 main bagger classes that Tony was talking about just a minute ago. But Tony, that's not all that we have to offer here at BRL. We've got a lot of different classes as well.
Yeah, we have a handful of other classes going on, some other American V-twin classes, and then our metric classes. We have sport bikes, we have supermotos, range of different brands of motorcycles. Whatever you ride, whatever you are a fan of, you're probably going to see it out on the racetrack this weekend.
It's going to be a great time for sure, and we're going to get the green flag flying here in just a moment after we get a quick word from our sponsors. This is the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Gingerman Raceway in beautiful South Haven, Michigan. My name is Zach Herron. I'm alongside Tony Tucker here in the Tucker Speed Studio. And, Tony, we've had some great early action. We had a little bit of practice this morning as well as our qualifiers to set the grid for today's round 3.
Yeah, it's been exciting stuff all morning. You know, the riders have been dealing with a little bit of weather. We had some rain roll through. You can see it's still a little overcast here today. So riders are still getting used to the track as the track is drying out, and we'll see what we can do here in race number 1.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see for sure as we've got our next generation Superbike going to be kicking off the program for us. But to your point, like you said, a little bit of weather coming through, some drizzles yesterday throughout the day, and then a little bit heavier rain throughout the night as well. But you talked about this. While we may be done with the rain, or at least that's the way it looks at the moment, this track is in the process of changing as we speak. It's still drying out, and with that comes some different changes that not only the riders have to prepare for, but the mechanics have to prepare for as well.
Yeah, it definitely throws a wrench into everybody's program and plans for the day. First practice this morning, the track was still really wet, so you know the ability to kind of get out and fine-tune and use that practice to the full advantage didn't really happen this morning. It was kind of tiptoeing around. We did see a few issues in practice this morning caused by slick track conditions. So, you know, teams are still figuring things out here. This is race 1 of the weekend, so the teams are finding what's working and what's not here. This is a new track to the BRL. So a lot of these teams, it's the first time they've been here. So a lot of learning happening in a short amount of time.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you brought up this beautiful Gingerman Raceway here in Michigan. Going to give you guys a little look at the track and tell you exactly what these riders are going to be dealing with throughout the course of this doubleheader weekend. Obviously, this weekend being round 3 and 4 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. As we get that track map pulled up, we want to welcome all of our Racer TV viewers and fans out there from the GNCC world. Maybe you're a Loretta Lynn's fan, but we're excited to have you on board here with us and excited for the partnership between Racer TV and the Bagger Racing League. So let's take a look at that Gingerman Raceway track map. We've got 11 corners here on the track. Little fun fact for the BRL fans, this is actually the same track designer that we had from our last race out in Hastings, Nebraska. And, Tony, it doesn't take long, literally maybe the first or second turn, to start to see some of the similarities between the two tracks.
Yeah, most definitely. It was one of the first things that I noticed, that the track layout was very similar to Hastings, and which is good news for a lot of the riders because, you know, it brings a little familiarity to the program. But, you know, each track is different. I mean, this is the first time I've been at this racetrack, so I was watching video and stuff leading up this week, and on video it looked very flat, but there's actually quite a bit of elevation going on out there. So you see the track map pulling up there. You know, turn 2 going into 3, that's going uphill, and turn 3 is very blind. You crest the top of the hill, and you are in that corner. So 3 is a very tricky corner to, you know, you can see it's fairly tight, and it's all blind, so you got to have good braking points there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually able to take a little bit of a ride around yesterday. Don Hampton threw us in the UTV and gave us a little first-hand look at the track. And to your point, you're 100% right. Right as you kind of reach that top speed as you're headed out of turn 2 into turn 3, you crest over the hill. Next thing you know, you got to hang a hard right corner. So be on the lookout for, especially riders in the midst of a battle, really pushing the envelope and pushing the pace coming into turn 3. Another one of those corners that really was giving riders some trouble was turns 5 and 6. It's one of those double apex corners. You've got to set up for turn 6 as you're headed into turn 5. We've seen a couple of riders blow that corner wide, really going to open up the door for some passing opportunities.
Yeah, it is a tricky corner. You can see on the screen there, turn 5 and 6. 6 is a lot, you know, more aggressive of a corner. It's, you know, a lot tighter, and everybody kind of rolls through there thinking they can carry the same amount of speed through 6 as they did through 5, and you just can't. So, you know, 5 and 6 is very tricky.
Going to be for sure tricky to see. You take a look at the bottom of your screen, you see that 10A and 10B options. Riders are going to be using 10B. So we're going to be doing the full length of the track out here. And what you can't see on this track map is that 10B, another one of those just slightly off-camber corners. We had, I believe it was turn 7 out in Hastings, where the riders, they're leaning, they want to go one way, but the corners go in the opposite. So another opportunity for some mistakes and maybe some passes as well in the final couple of corners.
Yeah, just nailing your line and your speed through those off-cambers is key, and getting set up for the straightaway, you know, coming out across the start-finish line. If you don't get through the corner, you kind of ruin the whole straightaway. You know, you lose so much time.
Yeah, it's so simple. One small mistake, and you can lose 3 to 4 to 5 seconds, which is essentially that's your race here in BRL.
Yeah.
These things go by quick. We've got some fast bikes and some fast racers to put on top of them, and so it's going to come down to who can limit the mistake, who can best adapt to the different changing track conditions like you were talking about earlier, Tony, and then, of course, who's willing to twist that throttle the hardest.
Yeah, it's all risk reward, you know. You can't always win races by being conservative, but I think today with the track conditions, being conservative might be key. Just finishing the race is going to be number one, and you never know, you might come across first.
Hey, absolutely, and we've seen it before. You can't give up either. Oftentimes we see maybe one rider pulls out front, and like you said, we've seen some uncharacteristic mistakes out here today. Obviously, whether it's the track conditions or just the track layout itself, it's given some riders a little bit of difficulty. They're having to get the track figured out on the fly, even after a full day of practice yesterday. So as we get our next generation Superbike class out on their warm-up lap and get ready to have them line up on the grid, it will be extremely exciting to see how things are going to shake out. As now getting a little look at some of our next-gen Superbike racers. While they're going through their warm-up class, we're going to run through our list here and let you know who you're going to be seeing here in race number 1. So it looks like on the top of the list, Kat Bukowski on the 995. She is going to line up, I believe, in the second place spot on the grid, and she is running with that gray area KTM Tenoko Moto backed machine. On the pole, the number 151 of Scott Short, and he's going to be someone to look out for as well. We know he's got the speed to do whatever is necessary to get the win. Taking a look, we've also got Jamie Hansen coming all the way from Minnesota out of that LM2 Racing backed ride with DP Brakes backing them. I know Larry Mills in the house with us, LM2 Racing, and Michelin Tires, of course, as well.
Yeah, we see the first riders coming around from their siding lap, finding their spots on the grid, waiting for the green flag to drop here. You know, this is a key moment of the race, just, you know, kind of keeping your nerves calm, you know, maintain, you know, your breathing, stay focused, stay calm, and get ready for the green flag here. So
absolutely. Taking a look, it looks like we've also got Josh Thompson out there as well on the 991 machine, coming all the way from Kansas. We've got several of our racers that we saw make their BRL debut out in Nebraska. They got the bug. Next thing they know, they're making the trip out here to Michigan to join us here for rounds 3 and 4. We've also got Tyler McCracken with that Kansas City Autosport backed machine. And then, of course, James Milroy Jr. with Milroy Racing, sponsored by Rapid Cycle Works. And they're all getting locked and loaded here on the starting grid. Want to make sure everybody's in the right starting spot and lined up just like they want. As you can see, some riders taking a look around for our Racer TV broadcast. A little different than what you're going to see as far as you know, your GNCC or any of your motocross broadcasts, Tony. And for those of you that don't know, Tony, an established BRL racer in his own right. You got some podiums on the mix as well. Unfortunately, like a lot of racers, you found the ground at some point. You're on the men back, but we're excited to have you on the booth. When riders are out on this warm-up lap, obviously you're warming up the tires, you're warming up the machine as well as yourself, but is there anything that you're looking for when you're going around, especially on a course that's maybe changing just a little bit with the drying out conditions right now?
Yeah, I think you're right there. The big thing today with the conditions we're dealing with is, you know, seeing how dry the track is, because it's you know, we've had spots of sun, you know, poking through, so they're really looking for the dry lines and making sure, you know, what you're comfortable with going into turn 1. So that's the biggest key on this one.
Like we said, riders have been all day yesterday, got plenty of track time to do some practice, to kind of fine-tune their machine, but it was a little bit of sprinkling throughout the day yesterday, so it was kind of hard to figure out exactly how this track was going to shape up. We got more through the evening, as now the green flag is up in the air, and it is waving. Round 3 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers is underway, and we're kicking things off here with the next generation Superbike class. We'll see if we can get a glimpse of who that is in turn 1 leading the way. Looks like that might be the 996 of Bukowski. Or possibly even the 991. Josh Thompson in the mix there as well, coming out of Kansas. So we'll have to take a look and see exactly who it is out front leading the way here for next gen Superbike class. And you know, you guys are not seeing things. We do have a KTM Supermoto out there as well. And if anybody's back home laughing right now saying there's no way that thing can run with those top riders, take a look at your screen right now as it looks like the KTM trying to make a pass up the inside. I believe that is going to be Arch York on the KTM 913 machine, running that underground racing team back machine, and sponsored by Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska 811. Remember, call 811 before you dig, but right now he is digging and he is trying to get that KTM to the front of the field.
Yeah, this is a great three-way battle shaping up here as they head in to the last parts of the track here and try and get the first lap under their belt, kind of, shake off the first lap jitters and get to racing here. So see some back and forth passing already happening here.
Yeah, looks like that might be, I believe that is going to be Scott Short, your pole winner, actually falling back to the third place spot right now. They're chasing after the 991 of Josh Thompson, leading the way. Looks like that is Arch York now moving into the second place spot, with Scott rounding out your top three. And it looked like we had a fourth rider getting up into the mix as well, and looks like he might have been able to make a pass there for the third place position.
I love seeing that KTM just, mix it up with these, these super bikes. These are next-gen super bikes, but that KTM 450 is just out there holding its own with these guys. I just think it's cool to see a mix of motorcycles out there. So looks like they're heading off into turn 3 there. You can kind of see that elevation where you crest the top of the hill and you're just right in that corner there. So it's still a four-way battle for the lead there. We got a couple of different bikes, that Supermoto in the mix, still chalking it up with them.
And yeah, just like you said, we had the same conversations out in Nebraska just a few weeks ago for the first doubleheader, and we thought, it'll be great to see the KTM out there. We'll see where they can do, but we did not expect them to be up in the mix, slicing and dicing, making passes. It just goes to show no matter what kind of machine you got, hop on to BaggerRacingLeague.com and find out what class you can get that thing put in, because talking to Arch and the entire underground racing team, sounds like it's not the first track day that KTM has seen, but definitely is more than capable of getting up and getting in the mix of a podium finish. Yeah,
I think Arch has spent a lot of time on that KTM and spent a lot of laps, and it's showing here today. He's holding his own up there with these guys, sitting in third place. You can see he's holding a tight line there, trying to hold off the 151 of Scott Short there. So here they come up over the top of the hill. You see all of them kind of in that full tuck position, trying to get out of the wind.
And it's the 188 of Matthew Laurent now taking over the number 1 spot, coming from fourth all the way up to the third place position in the course of one lap as they blow by the start-finish line once again. Now Laurent tries to put a little bit of distance between himself and the 911 machine of Jamie Hansen. And Hansen, one of our racers from the last round, had some success and is looking to try to repeat here at round 3. But look at this 3-rider battle for the backside of the podium. Arch York in the full tuck position, going to try to sit up, catch a little bit of wind, and get that KTM slowed down as he tries to now make the pass for second place.
Yeah, Laurent's really checking out here, so it's just making it a 3-way battle for second place. I think the key right now for these 3 on screen is to keep your head down. I mean, he might be walking away now, but you never know what's going to happen. He may miss a line. He may get tired at the end of the race. They got to keep their heads down and continue to charge forward.
Absolutely, yeah. It is far from over as we watch your leader out front right now trying to do the complete opposite of what we're saying. He says, boys, it is over, all right? I want to check out, grab this number 1 spot, and head to the finish line. But look, it is anybody's guess who is going to finish on the podium. Does still look like it is the 911 machine holding down the second place spot. So that's going to be Jamie Hansen in second. Look at this side by side. Arch York trying to take the long way around. He's got the KTM wide open, but look at that. Hansen does a great job of slamming the door.
Yeah, it's great racing. I can see Arch really searching for lines. Look how tight of a line he holds there. And, trying to find speed wherever you can. Finding the quickest way around that corner is part of it. And, Arch is just out there, wringing the neck on that KTM. You're just giving it everything it's got to hang with these boys, and that's cool.
Yeah, great to see. And just behind him, not quite close enough to be able to make a move, but still the 151 of Scott Short. He's trying to slice and dice and say he deserves one of these podium spots as well, as right now you get a great shot of that 3-rider battle, and slowly but surely looking like the 911 of Jamie Hansen starting to slip away.
Yeah, as we're getting later into this race, you know, this is where kind of fitness and, you know, your preparation is going to come into play here. You know, these guys have been on the gas for a few laps now, and if you were out of shape or not conditioned or whatever, it's really going to start to show now kind of in the later laps of the race. And, you know, as Laurent's still quite a ways out front, he's got a pretty good gap on everybody, and still a three-way battle, you know, keeping everybody in check here. We got Arch still sitting in third. Scott Short still holding down that fourth position. Arch takes over second position there.
Wow, so it really looks like Arch is able to charge into those corners. You talked about how tight of a line he's able to hold, and making it work for him as he was able to close up the gap and slingshot around for the second place spot. So still anybody's guess, as Scott is still right there within about a bike length or two of Jamie Hansen.
Jamie's, you know, under pressure now from Scott Short. So yeah, he's got to keep his head down and just twist the throttle, keep moving forward. And he is under attack. And
I'll get your opinion on this, Tony. We saw a quick little glance back there from Hansen. Are you a keep your eyes forward the whole time, or do you like to give a little quick glance back, see who's behind you? Does it provide anything? As now we see the halfway point here of race number 1. So I believe it's going to be 7 laps these riders are going to be doing. As there you see the battle rages on. Now it does look like they're able to kind of motor away just a little bit from Scott Short there coming down the start straight, but when we get into the tighter corners, it seems like he's able to close in on the back of the 911 machine.
Yeah, and kind of back to your point, you know, kind of looking over your shoulder there, I think the more you can stay focused and eyes forward, the better. I feel like, you know, you start looking back and you start taking your focus off of what's ahead of you and where you should be and what's going on. So in my mind, I think eyes forward all the time. Whoever's behind you doesn't matter, just march forward, and that's key. So as we see Arch still here, he's actually stretching out a little bit of a gap over third place there. Very respectable on that KTM Supermoto, and holding his own. Just clicking off laps here. We're just over halfway now, so he just needs to bring it in. And, you know, hold it down. He'll bring home that second place trophy as of right now.
Yeah, and now we take a look back at your leader, Matthew Laurent, doing exactly what he was wanting to do. Did not get the start he was looking for. 5th place on the grid, so he had to make some passes and stayed calm, cool, and collected. Waited his turn until about that 2nd or 3rd lap and was able to slice and dice his way through. Got 3 passes done in the course of 1 lap from 4th all the way up to 1st, and since then it has been smooth sailing. So taking a look at your leader right now, trying to bring this thing home here in race number 1, the next generation Superbike class. Like we talked about at the top of the show, the Bagger Racing League expanding their parameters and getting us some new classes here for 2024. Really, I think at the end of the day, the whole goal here with Rob and the entire BRL community is to give riders a way to race their motorcycles, right? Whether it's a sport bike, whether it's a super bike of some kind, whether it is a supermoto, or of course whether you're wanting to take your bagger out and put it to the test. We've got a class for you here at BRL.
Yeah, I think it's a unique series here, you know, in the Bagger Racing League. We have classes for just about everybody. Like you said, these new Superbike classes have really opened up the opportunity for a lot of different brands and makes and motorcycles to get on track with us. And, you know, what other event can you go out and see, you know, a Supermoto and these Superbikes and you know, what we're going to be seeing later in the Baggers and some of the other Hardys and American V-Twin stuff. Just such a wide range of motorcycles all on the track the same day, and that's what makes the BRL so unique and different from everything else.
So really getting an opportunity for all different motorcycle riders to show exactly what they've got.
So yeah, as we watch Laurent still clicking off laps here, Laurent the 188, and just following the leader around, and you know, we should be getting here. It looks like he's coming across, lapping Kat Bukowski there on the 996. Looks like she maybe is having a mechanical or something there, but looks like Laurent made easy work. And we see the white flags, the last lap. So for Laurent, just hit your marks and keep it on 2 wheels here in the last lap and bring it home and take home that #1 trophy.
Yeah, he's got the white flag now. It's very simple, especially with the gap that he's walked up. Just keep it up like that. That's a good point. You don't need to be setting a track record. Don't need to push the pace. You've done the work. Now just bring it home.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't matter if you win by 30 seconds or 3 seconds. A win is a win, and so, you know, if you just need to kind of put it in cruise control and make sure you cross the finish line is all that matters right now.
So here we go, watching Laurent here on this final lap, trying to make his way through. Definitely looks like he's backed off the pace just a little bit. You see all of the fans here at BRL over there on Spectator Hill, just across from the main pit straight. Everybody getting taking advantage of some of that high elevation, getting an opportunity to get a full view of the track. I believe it's maybe only 1 or 2 corners that they can't see over there from Spectator Hill, and we've got a massive group of cars, fans, spectators all cheering for their favorite rider, making their way around. And right now, he might be your favorite, he might not, but he's still out front leading the way. It is the 188 of Matthew Laurent trying to bring things home, and he's just a couple of corners away. Tony, you've been here, you know the feeling with the final lap. How long does this lap feel for Laurent out front?
For some reason, the last lap feels like it takes 10 times longer than the rest of them. You know, you start thinking about, you know, that checkered flag. You've got to leave those thoughts alone. Just don't think about it. Just stay focused on your line, because the last thing you want to do is be thinking about the checkered flag and then all of a sudden end up out in the grass or in the sand trap. So here's the checkered flag.
And there it is, bringing home the first checkers of round number 3 here out of the next generation Superbike class. It is going to be the 188 of Matthew Laurent grabbing the win. Takes a little look over the shoulder after the checkered flag. You take a look over the shoulder all you want. See where everybody else finished.
Cross the line first.
Look back all you want after that. Rider's going to take a cool down lap here so they can head over to pit entrance. See him waving to the fans. Everybody, that's another thing that you can talk about here with BRL. All of these guys and gals out on track right now are having a great time. The competition, they love having each other out there. They want to let each other know, hey, whatever you got to do to get out in BRL racing, you need to do it. I want a full grid. I want as many people as I can. And whether they come out on top, whether they make the podium or not, it's all smiles when they pull off the track. So many different riders, just like Tony was talking about earlier, with different machines coming from all over the great state, or the great country of the US of A, and then the international flair as well. We've got Germans, we've got Russians, we've got Spaniards, Australians, all wanting to get in the mix of the BRL racing action. And they're able to do just that here in beautiful South Haven, Michigan. Gingerman Raceway looks like it's shaping up to be a great race course here for BRL.
For sure. We have, you know, our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class coming up next. You know, see some baggers hitting the track for the first time this afternoon as these guys are winding down on their cool down lap, and you know, just kind of bringing the nerves back down, get the adrenaline back under control, because there's nothing like, I mean, and it's a great feeling. Laurent's around there spinning that cool down lap, and that's such a best feeling of just spinning around, knowing that you took away the checkered flag and rode a good race. That's such a good high to feel, and you know, all of us as racers, that's the feeling that we're chasing. So congratulations to Laurent on a good race.
Absolutely. Congratulations in order for sure. These guys over here trying to, hey man, where do you think we should set up at? Where do you think the best view's at? So those guys are going to get set up over on Spectator Hill. There you see your winner headed into pit entrance. So he's going to be closing things off. And just to give you guys all on Racer TV an idea, we will be doing all of our podiums following the final race. So our final race, which is the Bagger GP and the Bagger Pro Stock class, they will conclude the racing action, but they will be our first podium celebration. So we will have the last class make their way directly to the podium. We'll chat it up with the top 3 in both of those classes, and then we will run through the rest of the running order in chronological order. So the next generation Superbike class will be the second group of podiums following the Bagger GP and the Pro Stock Bagger classes, which is the final class of the afternoon. But right now we're getting ready to get things set off for the next group of riders. Looks like they're getting ready to make their way out on track for the warm-up lap. And we will keep the action rolling here from Gingerman Raceway. So many things going on besides the action on track. We've got a great fan turnout here. I think the overcast might be working in the fans' favor. All right, nobody beating the heat right now. It's a nice, cool day here in Michigan as think only the riders are having to deal with it. And Tony, you tell me, you just took a look over at the track. It does look like things are starting to dry out pretty much across the track. Still relatively overcast, extremely humid out here, but looks like maybe the track getting a little more predictable.
I think so. I mean, from what we're seeing on screen, I think the track looks really dry. I picked up in a few of the corners, there's like some standing water if you get really low. If someone was to drag a knee or something like that and splash water out onto the track, something that could happen. I mean, you hope not, but for the most part, it looks like the racing lines are all pretty dry. So that's good news, for the Super Street Bagger guys heading out right now. They're going to head out and check out the track, make sure it looks dry. These guys in the Super Street class, they are actually required to run DOT tires, so these are not race slicks. So they're going to be able to manage, a little bit of a wet track a little better than, some of the race slicks that we'll see on the bikes later on in Pro Stock and GP. These tires are tires that you would run down the highway, and they are designed to be ran in wet conditions, so they'll be able to handle this a little better.
So rain or shine, the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class is able to handle whatever we throw at them as we see them all head out on course for their warm-up lap. And it's going to be exciting to see. We've got some great racers in the mix as well. Let's just start at the top of the list and work our way down here. Philip Doty going to be up top, bike number 19 coming out of Kentucky. He's riding for that Harley-Davidson Bowling Green team. Sponsored by, of course, Harley-Davidson Bowling Green, Easy Cheesy Pizza Company, and JTS Performance.
And Sean Hoffman on the 501 machine out of Wisconsin. He's riding with the Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson team. Obviously, supported pretty heavily by the Suburban Motors team. Legend Suspension is also helping him out in the suspension department there.
Awesome stuff there for Sean. Jake Masters, our round 1 and 2 winner on the number 51, coming all the way from the land down under in Australia. He's riding for that Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson. Of course, a huge part of his program, as well as Bridgestone. And it looks like we've got Performance Machines helping them out as well there for the 51.
Yeah, we got Jason Reeves on the 187 out of Arkansas. Williams Body Shop giving him some help and love, trying to help these guys get to the races.
Absolutely. Chris Rivas on the 244. He's coming out from Florida with that Rocket Performance team. Of course, Rocket Performance Garage helping him out along with Bassani and the SNS Cycle Group. And
we got Joey Beavers, the number 99 out of Wisconsin, lining up on the grid as well.
And it looks like Carl Schlack going to round out the field on our list. Looks like Carl is third on the grid for us. He's on the number 8 coming out of Ohio. That's Speed Farm backed machine. And, of course, Speed Farm, Hog Haulers, HHI, and Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson all helping back the number 8 machine. So got a lot of great riders out there and a lot of great companies and sponsors helping them get out to BRL as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these sponsors are huge. The sponsors play a big part in helping all these racers get out to the racetrack. It takes an army to get here. I mean, there's a lot going on from building the motorcycle and all the parts that need to be bought. And, these machines are, the bikes that we're seeing on screen, these are not motorcycles that are designed to be raced. So, there's, even for this Super Street class, there's a lot of work that goes into them to get them track ready and ready to race. So all these, sponsors make that happen for these guys.
Now, as a mechanic yourself, and obviously we are here in the Tucker Speed studio, just as a general, what are some of the biggest changes that we're seeing on something like the 51 machine of Jake Masters on his Super Street machine compared to something that you'd see out on the road?
Yeah, I mean, the Super Street is, the class that has the least amount of modifications. There's quite a few restrictions on these motorcycles for, what you can do to them to make it, easier for a new racer to get into. So, but first off is suspension. You got to get the bike up in the air. The Harley-Davidsons and the Indians that we see out here are all built very low. So getting the bike in the air so you don't scrape parts, get the exhaust up away from the ground, get the foot pegs away from the ground, trimming saddlebags, anything that's going to rub. Suspension is the first thing. And then obviously you can start talking about ergonomics, the handlebars and seat shape to get your body in the right position. So see these guys all flipping their shields down, getting ready for the red flag to, walk off the track and take that green. Jake Masters there, our number 1 qualifier, is ready to go. He left last round with a 1-1 finish on the weekend and looking to repeat.
So here we go. The green flag is up in the air, and it is waving. So we are off and rolling for the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class. And it's a drag race headed into turn 1 with Masters holding the inside.
Yeah, Carl with a good start there, trying to challenge Jake into turn 1. He just had to lift just a little earlier than Jake. Jake had the preferred line there, and off into turn 2 and up the hill and over the top into turn 3 for the first time. And these guys will kind of take it easy. This is their first lap at speed. You know, they're still not real sure how the track's going to hold and how much traction's out there. You see Rivas looking underneath Carl there, and you see one bike way offline there.
And that's what we talk about. Some of these riders, just something as simple as missing your entrance into the corner. It not only throws that corner off, but it can throw your exit into the next straightaway off as well. So, like you said, we saw Masters look like check up just a little bit early headed into turn 3 as they crest over top of that hill. Wanted to make sure he could hug that inside like he wanted. And it looks like he's already trying to put a little distance between himself and the rest of the field.
Yeah, it looks like Jake's already got a pretty good lead over the rest of the pack. We got a 3-way battle for second place here. We got Carl Schlock and Chris Rivas in there. I didn't quite catch who was in that 4th place position there. And looks like Chris wants to, look, he's looking underneath Carl Schlock there, trying to find a way around. That is the 501 of Sean Hoffman there in 4th place. And these guys, Sean was actually riding really well. Chris Rivas, I talked to him earlier this morning. He was making some changes, and he was really happy with his qualifying time. He really felt like he could get up there and challenge, at least for a second. I think everybody knows that Masters was putting down lap times that they just couldn't compete with. So I think, unfortunately, everybody's shooting for that second place position right now.
Well, they are definitely fighting for it right now, as we saw almost 3 wide heading into that corner. We check back in with your leader out front, Jake Masters, looking like a master at work right now out front, leading the way. Kind of the sophomore season here for Masters in the BRL. He jumps over to the Super Street Bagger class, and it seems like he was able to feel right at home.
Yeah, I think from, round 1, he looked just super comfortable on that road glide. I mean, last season he was riding a lightweight twins bike, an XR 1200 for the same team. Jumped up to the bagger, and he's just making it look easy out there in the Super Street class. The Suburban team's a really strong team. They know how to put together a well-built motorcycle, and Jake's an accomplished rider. Does a lot of freestyling and stunt riding, and he knows his way around a racetrack, and he's showing it here on the number 51 road glide there.
Absolutely, and we talked about, you kind of touched on it there with Masters, kind of jack of all trades when it comes to motorcycle racing. He can take that Harley right there and point it up to 12 o'clock if needs be. He can jump off a freestyle ramp on a dirt bike, and we've got a lot of different background of racers going out there. Carl Schlag, perfect example, former pro motocross and supercross racer. We've got Cody Gilmore, obviously Ruben Zaus, a name a lot of people are familiar with as well. So we've got a lot of different backgrounds of riders as well as a lot of different bikes out on course.
Yeah, and I'll even throw Chris Rivas in there. Chris is an accomplished drag racer and land speed racer. He's raced a lot of different motorcycles on different surfaces and different disciplines. So that's another great thing about the VRL is just all the different talent that comes here to race together on one weekend on different motorcycles, and it's just fun to see. Chris is stretching out a lead there. Looks like Sean Hoffman has taken over that 3rd position over Carl. Carl had a good start. He's kind of moving backwards right now. He needs to find a little bit of pace and see if he can pick up a position or 2 here.
And you saw it looked like Sean Hoffman was taking a couple of notes from Ruben Zaus as well. You see kind of throwing that leg out. Yeah, so it sounds like there's a little bit of strategy, or maybe just when you see a guy go 1-1 like we saw Ruben Zaus at rounds 1 and 2 do, you start taking notes. Whatever he's doing, I'm going to try.
And I love
Rivas there getting a little loose exit in that corner.
Yeah, he's finding the limits of the traction out there on those DOT tires. So, Rivas, he knows how to make horsepower, and he's getting the power to the ground and maybe a little too much and getting that back wheel spinning up a little bit. So Chris, the Rocket Performance Garage, Rocket Performance Camshafts, has been around the industry for a long time. He's raced a lot of the BRL events. He took a year off and came back this year kind of on a budget build, a new bike. And he kind of built this bike on a budget. He found a wrecked motorcycle, bought a bunch of stuff on eBay, and is into a full-on race machine for less than $6,000-7,000, and he's out here running in second place in the Super Street class. So it just goes to show you that if you're sitting here watching this and you want to get out here and try it, it is so easy to do it. You just got to find a motorcycle, put some parts on it, and come out here and race.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, this huge partnership between BRL and Racer TV. We know a lot of the GNCC Racing Nation, a lot of our amateur motocross scenes, maybe pops, maybe mom and pops have got Harleys in the garage back at home when they're not racing dirt bikes, and you got to let them know, hey, you throw a couple of parts on this thing, you could go racing too, and you could be live broadcasted on Racer TV. So we're excited to be able to share the world of BRL with everyone on Racer TV, as right now it does look like the 27, Sean Hoffman, now is trying to chase down Chris Rivas there. We saw Rivas look like, I don't think it scared him too much, but I definitely think it got his attention, that back end starting to dance around.
Yeah, for sure. And Hoffman's trying to chase him down. He probably saw that mistake and just realized, now's my opportunity, just charge forward. And on that, Sean Hoffman is another really cool story. Sean works at the Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson. He's a mechanic out there, and he's been coming out to the races as a team mechanic. And he talked Joe, the owner over there, into letting him race this year. And we can see, like we saw earlier, he's taking notes from Ruben. He's hanging that leg out there and showing some speed in a relatively quick fashion, and charging, going to take home a podium if he keeps it up here.
Yeah, absolutely. For those at home that did not get a chance to see rounds 1 and 2, Ruben Zaus grabbing the Bagger GP win on both Saturday and Sunday. Give the folks at home just a little bit more of his background. Obviously, that's kind of arguably the premier class here in the BRL, but as you can see, his influence already starting to make its way through the rest of the classes.
Sure, Ruben, if you don't know who Ruben Zaus is, if you've been living under a rock for the last few years, is an accomplished world superbike racer, has raced some MotoGP. He's from Spain. He's raced for a number of superbike teams, Ducatis and Yamahas, and is very accomplished. I mean, to race at the world superbike level, you are, the cream of the cream, right? You are the top level, one of the best motorcycle racers in the world, and to see that international flair, and Ruben is wanting to take bagger racing, worldwide, international. He's building a program, and he wants to take it to Europe, and he's out here with us in the Bagger Racing League and showing us all how it's done. I mean, he's so fast, and his program, I'm so impressed with the fueling team and Ruben's program. They're true professionals and love what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a Swiss watch, basically. I mean, it just seems like every time they go out, the whole team knows exactly what their role is, and it seems like everything just runs smooth as planned for those guys. And talking about smooth as planned, this has got to be how Jake Masters drew this race up in his head.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. This is exactly how you want to execute. First into turn 1, and then just click off laps and never have to see anybody until it's a lapper like we're seeing on screen right now. Looks like Jake's going to start into the lap traffic there, and just making it look really easy. Jake, I think if I had to predict, I think Jake will probably move up to Pro Stock next year, just given his speed and talent. I know that the team likes to have a rider in the Super Street class. Maybe they bring in a new rider. We'll see what happens for next year. But I think Jake, his talent level probably should put him up into the Pro Stock class. I think he's running that type of speed out here today as he continues to, kind of deal with lap traffic. I think that's Philip Doty there on a fairly, I don't want to say stock, but a mildly modified street glide there. Kind of just got the bare minimum of what you need to be out on the track. And it's still not bad, still running some good times. Hats off to Phil there and the HD of Bowling Green team.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Masters looking good right now here in the Super Street class, but we expect him to possibly move up by next year. And like you alluded to, this is only the start really for BRL. I believe it's our 4th season of the series itself running, and between Ruben Zaus and, of course, Sam Guerin there helping as well, as we have the Canadian Invitational coming up a little later this summer. It really seems like the world is now starting to catch interest and really find out how much fun it is not only to watch these baggers race, but to get out there and compete yourself.
Well, and if you've never attended a bagger racing league event in person, I kind of equate it to like an NHRA drag race. It's fun to watch it on TV. It's fun to watch it on YouTube. But until you see it and hear it and feel it in person, when these baggers rip down the front stretch, the sound and the feeling and the rumble that you get, like there's just nothing like it. So if you haven't attended a race, jump on the website, find out where the next race is, buy a ticket, and get out there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can attest to that firsthand. This is my first season here with the BRL, and obviously, Tony, you've been under the helmet. You've been the guy out there doing it, but last round out in Nebraska, I was able to head over into turn one, and just to see the speed that the riders are carrying into some of these corners, dragging knees, kicking legs off the side of the bike to try to help get slowed down. I mean, sometimes over 100 miles an hour going into some of these corners. You can't get a full feel of that on YouTube or on Racer TV. We've got great camera work, great job of showing you exactly what the riders are capable of doing, but until you're here, you really don't get the full sense of how exciting BRL is.
Yeah, it's just unreal in person. And, if you would have asked anybody 5-6 years ago that they were going to take Harley baggers and race them on the road course, that you would have been laughed at. But here we are doing it. Rob Bidos has kind of made this thing happen. And to take these motorcycles and, run the kind of lap times that these guys are running on, heavyweight motorcycles. These bikes, I mean, not so much in the Super Street, but, the Pro Stock and GP classes, they've shed a lot of weight, but it's still a heavy motorcycle. Easily twice as much weight as, your average super bike.
See Jake Masters there throwing a little bit of style. I don't know what exactly that was. The outside leg getting kicked up. Any insight into what he might be doing there?
I think he's just that comfortable right now, just really kind of hanging off the side. These are wide motorcycles, so when you start hanging off the side of them, unlike a super bike, this bike is really wide, so it's kind of hard to keep your leg on that peg. I think this is the first I've ever seen Jake doing that, so I don't know if he's just testing a new kind of
technique, style,
yeah. So interesting to see. He's really getting off the side of that motorcycle. He's just getting ready for next year when he steps up to the fast class.
Absolutely, and we talked about the aggressiveness of Ruben Saus's style. It really seems like he's able to kind of manhandle that bagger GP, so maybe that's what he's looking for. Maybe just trying to manipulate that bike and really make it work for him, as he definitely looks like he's on cruise control right now. The white flag flying and less than half a lap left to go for Masters, as we saw him glancing down at the machine just a couple of times as well.
Yeah, I don't know if that means there's an issue or if he just knows he's got that much of a lead, and hopefully everything's okay. It looks like it is. It looks as though he's just kind of got it in cruise control. He's well aware of how much of a lead he, got over second place, and looks like up top we still have Sean Hoffman and Chris Rivas rounding out the top three there. So looks like Jake's just going to enjoy the moment and just soak it all in while he can.
Hey, absolutely. He did the work early. He got the gap built up, and look at that. He's trying to pick that front wheel up. I can see what that is. Absolutely. So here it comes to the checkered flag. It will be Jake Masters grabbing the win here in the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class. He'll make his way around here for the cool down lap. Waving to the fans. Everybody having a great time out here. We've had kids, we've had a member of local government, we had all kinds of people coming out to check out the BRL action.
Yeah, even up top of the hill there on Vendor Row, we got a bunch of vendors up there, everybody lined up, a lot of great merchandise and gear and parts, a lot of food going on up there, and we got I think we got live music going on later this afternoon. It's it's a party, it's a good time while the racing's going on, and everybody's out there having a good time. Just like Jake.
I was about to say, absolutely, and this guy is definitely having a good time right now as Jake Masters makes his way around. And we'll give you a look at how it all shook out, and we take a look at the RacerTV.com replay. So Jake Masters trying to make quick work of it. It was a drag race up into turn number 1 between Jake Masters and Carl Schlacht on that number 8 machine, but Masters had the preferred line, closed the door, and grabbed the early race lead. And we knew Masters started at the back of the grid in rounds 1 or 2 after having issues in qualifying. Give him that pole position, and that might be all she wrote in Super Street. And at least here today, he was able to do just that as he pulled away from the rest of the field. This was the battle on the track, though. Carl Schlacht doing a great job. Really solid starter is the number 8 of Schlacht. He was able to get up front early, and he went to battle with Chris Rivas there on the number 244. And then it looked like it was going to be Sean Hoffman getting up into the mix. Hoffman was able to work his way around Rivas and then eventually get his way around Carl Schlacht there as well. You see Schlacht in the battle. Believe that was with Rivas. So Rivas actually made the pass around the number 8 first. He moved into the second place spot, and then it was going to be the 27 of Sean Hoffman trying to chase him down, and it did look like it was Hoffman making the pass for second place late in the race. So riders making their way around, picking and choosing, and there you see Jake Masters trying to decide, I don't know, can I wheelie this thing? I probably better not. I got another day of racing tomorrow, and is going to bring it home to the checkered flag here for the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Baggers class. And there he is, the number 51, holding up the number 1 as he takes the checkered flag. And now looking at 3 race wins here in the 2024 season. As there you go, an absolute packed stand over on Spectator Hill. Some smart viewers there bringing their own lawn chairs. Kick back and enjoy the racing action. You can see a lot of the Harley and just motorcycle community around these local races come out to support. And, these guys, they're probably sitting there thinking, all right, how many different parts do I need to be able to take that bike and take it out on track? As you see the 27 and the 51, Sean Hoffman and Jake Masters congratulating one another and chatting it up. What's that post-race breakdown like, Tony? Obviously, you guys, you go out, you do battle, and then you're just chit-chatting it up about what just happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of respect for everybody out on the track there. When you come across the finish line, your podium finishers, I mean, it's just a lot of congratulations. Good job, because everybody knows how hard it is and how hard-fought some of the battles are out there. And, just sharing it, with the other racers out on the TV or out on the track, it's a good feeling.
Absolutely. As we take a look now, Jake Masters, Sean Hoffman, Chris Rivas, Carl Schlacht, and Joe Sanderson, your top 5. So some great finishing there inside at the top of the field here for the Barnett Super Street class. See, look at it. Those guys are standing right there talking about how they're going to turn that bike into a BRL machine.
That's where it all starts right there. You ride your motorcycle to the race one weekend, and the next round you're lining up on the grid. Those motorcycles sitting right there could all be lined up out here in the Super Street class next round. So if you're wanting to get off the couch, come out here and ride with us, reach out to someone, find out what's needed, get your bike ready, and come out and race with us in the Super Street class.
Worth checking out for sure, as the next class making their way around for the warm-up lap. And we want to give a huge shout out to all of our viewers and fans out on RacerTV.com, but we have a very special hello, big shout out to Paula Fox. We know you're out there watching, and we wish you were able to join us here in person, but we're hoping you're enjoying the action there on Racer TV, and we can't wait to see you back at the races real soon. So a huge shout out to Paula Fox, and what better way, if you can't be in here in person, what better way to enjoy the BRL action than right here live on Racer TV. As we're getting ready for race number 3. Look at that, you bring the whole family out to the BRL.
These guys got it figured out. Got the lawn chairs in the bed of the truck, getting a little bit higher. They can see all of the track from up there, I bet. So, tailgating out here at the BRL, I like to see it.
Hey, absolutely. Like we said, it's not just a race. It's a full-on event. We've got some great concessions here on site. We've got live music coming up later today as well. So a ton of stuff going on, not only just for the racers that are getting to go out on track, but for the fans that get to enjoy all of the racing action as well. So going to be very exciting to see. As you can see, this is an intense moment right now. We're taking a look. I believe that's Scott Short on the 151, and you saw kind of like that 1,000-yard stare. He's got the look in his eyes. He's trying to get everything sorted out in the head before that green flag flies, and that's when things start to get serious, as we've got our lightweight superbike class coming up here in just a minute, and it will be the 151 of Scott Short out front leading the way, coming out of Iowa, sponsored by that Leroy Plus Motorcycle Supply backed machine.
In the number 2 spot, we got Brett Folkerts out here, the number 31 out of Iowa, out of Leroy, with help from Leroy Enterprises, Sensei Racing, and KTM.
And it looks like we've got Sidney Gard out there on the 423 coming out of Nebraska on that Original Garage Motos back machine, with Original Garage Moto, Bridgestone, and Fremont Harley Davidson all backing the 423.
Looks like as the racers get ready for the green flag here, Eyes on the prize here. You don't lose your focus. The green flag's going to drop at any moment here, and they are off.
There it is, and it looked like a great start for Brett Folkerts on the number 31. He had a lot of success at our opening rounds as well, so we'll see whether Folkerts can get in the mix and maybe try to steal that top spot away from your pole finisher, Scott Short, able to put a hot lap together, and now it's the 31 of Folkerts trying to run away with it right now. So almost immediately we see a breakaway from the 31 trying to get some clean air, as it looks like Short actually going to shuffle back to that 4th place position. So not the start that he was looking for. It looks like that was Arch York. I recognize the KTM, so the Supermoto back out on track and back mixing it up for a podium position.
Yeah, Arch, quick turnaround. He had one race in between there, so he had to get back to the trailer, get some water, get the nerves under control, and kind of relax and get ready to get back out there. So it looks like Arch is trying to stick with the pack there, as we have Folkerts still out front with a little bit of a gap.
Trying to see exactly who that is. Might be Guard there in the 2nd place spot, as it looked like Short fell back to the 4th place position. But Arch York once again trying to move that KTM forward. Just loses a little bit of time as they head into, believe that was turn 10. And here they come back up towards the pit area. See in that full tuck position, trying to stay as aerodynamic as possible.
Yeah, so we still got the 31 of Folkerts out front, the 911 of Jamie
Hansen. Yeah, looks like Hansen's out in the mix and coming from the back of the grid. So Hansen once again making the most of a bad start, making some passes early, finds himself in the 2nd place spot.
Jamie's another rider that was in that first race of the day, and short turnaround for him. You know, like I said, you got to get back to the trailer. Get, if you're on the same bike, refuel, get some water, hydrate, maybe eat a banana, try and get your nerves under control, and get your gear back on and head right back out onto the track. So short turnaround for some of these guys today.
And sometimes that could be advantageous as much as a disadvantage, because your heart rate's already up, the adrenaline's already pumping a little bit, you're kind of already warmed up, if you will. And so some of these riders say they even prefer having races closer together, because they kind of get in that race zone and they don't have to go from hot to cold to hot to cold. They just get it all done right there in one fell swoop.
It is tough, but that's where conditioning may come into it as well. If if your conditioning is on point and you're in shape and you can handle that kind of heartbeat, heart rate for that period of time, kind of back to back, that's great. If you're not conditioned, if you're kind of behind in that department, a race like that might be tough. You need a little bit of time to kind of recoup and get your energy back and ready to go back out. So it really kind of depends. I think it's tough. Like if you were first and last race of the day, it is hard, because you really wind down, the adrenaline wears off, and you got to kick it back up, and that's kind of hard. Absolutely,
and I tell you who seems recouped right now is Arch York, as he was able to make a pass around that last corner. But then look at this, the 911 machine, Jamie Hansen, leaves the throttle wide open and repasses for that 2nd place position. So once again, Scott Short in the mix, but just not quite able to show a wheel or make a pass, as it seems like York and Hansen have gone back and forth a couple of times already.
Yeah, I think these guys spend a lot of laps together. They race in the same classes. They know each other well and are comfortable around each other. I'm sure there's a lot of respect between the two. I think that both, their home track is Hastings. They spin a lot of laps there. These guys are obviously very close in speed. As you can see, they were, neck and neck in the first race, and here they are again.
So Arch York, kind of the leader, I would say, of that underground team racing, all sponsored by Kansas 811, Missouri 811, and Nebraska 811. So some similarities in the career there between the underground team racing. And another similarity is they like to go fast and have fun out here at BRL, as once again, Arch York takes the long way around and makes the pass on the KTM Supermoto. So Hansen going to have to regroup, try to find a way around. Seems like those long straightaways really work in the favor of the 911 machine. But Arch York, he's actually been able to put a couple of bike links between himself and Hansen, so he might be able to make this one stick.
Yeah, I was talking to Jamie Hansen earlier today, and he normally races two different motorcycles. And his second bike actually did not get finished and ready for the race, so he's actually running both classes on the same motorcycle this race. He normally switches from one to the other, and you know, looks like it's working out well for him. He might be a little underpowered, but in the middleweight division, but it is what it is. He's out there. Looks like he makes the pass again on the straightaway over Arch. Just a little bit more horsepower there over that Supermoto.
Man, an absolute drag race where they were both wide open, giving it everything they had. And yeah, to your point, that is the section that works out for Hansen. So Arch York, he's going to have to find a way to not only make the pass, but be able to put enough distance between himself and Hansen that he's going to let it stick, as Brett Folkert's out front, kind of all by his lonesome, as we continue to watch the battle here. Arch York trying. Look at that. He leaves the brakes off, closes the gap up. Not quite close enough to get around them. And back off they go, headed towards the back end. I believe that's into 5 and 6 they're headed right now, one of those double apex corners, so riders really having to put the entire corner together. Look at this, York pulling up alongside of him. Once again has to kind of funnel back in the line, not able to find a way around.
That KTM is so nimble, he can really put it wherever he wants to on the track. You know, he can hold a tight line like you see right there. He can take the easy way around or the short way around. And I think he just gives up a little bit of horsepower and just can't make up. You know, he gets past on the straightaway and then he has to get it back in the twisties. As you can see right there, the long way around. That bike just it accelerates so fast, it's so light. But, you know, those long straightaways, it just doesn't quite have the horsepower that Jamie Hansen's got.
So Arch York once again makes the pass, heads back into that full tuck position, tries to stay low, but you can see right there a perfect shot. And look at that, a little wave from Hansen. Says, hey man, I know I've got you beat in this section of the track. He's able to get back around him once again. So a little show of I don't even know. I don't want to call that disrespect, but I'm sure
just
York,
playing games.
Yeah, probably not thrilled to see him waving as he goes by. Because without a doubt, Arch trying to ride that KTM as hard as he can, but just seems like he's a little short on horsepower.
Yeah, and I'm sure, you know, like I said, these guys get along. They're good friends. You know, I'm sure he's just messing with him, but when you get that wave and get past, it's not a good feeling. Yeah. It's that little bit of like, oh, I'm going to get you. So we'll see if he can get him back here on this lap.
Yep, looks like York really trying to apply the pressure, wants to get back around Hansen for that second place spot. As Scott Short just on the outside of the podium looking in, holding down that fourth place spot, and it's Sidney Gard rounding out the top 5. As it is still Brett Folkert's out front. We had somewhat similar of a race with Brett at rounds 1 and 2 where didn't get the most time on camera because he was out front kind of all by himself. And he's like, it's okay, guys. I'd rather grab the win anyway. As right now we are not going to pull away from this battle between Jamie Hansen and Arch York. The back and forth continues for who wants the second place spot.
It's that same corner. Arch gets him there every lap.
Like clockwork.
Got the line. Oh, but this go around, Hansen
got something
still
to
got
say
the
about
long way around though. Is he going to hold it? They've got a lapper going to hold him up. As they split the lapper, looks like Jamie Hansen's going to hold on to that position.
Man, and you know Arch York going to be frustrated with that. He'd been closing off that corner all day long. Was going to try to get back in front of the 911 machine, maybe do a little bit of blocking, but instead they had to split that lapper as they make their way here down the start stretch once again.
Well, I think it's now or never for Arch. He's got to make the pass happen and make it stick because, you know, he can't quite hold that position all the way across to the start-finish line. So he's going to have to find a way to make the pass and make it stick and hold that position all the way around to the start-finish line. And he's starting to run out of laps here. You know, he's got a little bit of a gap there up to Jamie Hansen that he's got to make up. I think that lapper might have played a little bit into that and just caught him off guard. But Arch, you know, he's getting into the section of the track where he makes up time, so we'll see if he can get up and continue this battle with Jamie. Yeah,
really see him close up there in 5 and 6 as once again makes up several bike lengths, but Hansen had been able to stretch things out just a little bit. So right now it's looking like Jamie Hansen has gained sole control of the second place spot. We're not counting Arch out of it yet though, as we've still got just under half a lap here on this lap. As far as I know, we have not seen the white flag fly yet, so there is more racing to go. But Tony, you know as well as I do, if you start losing touch with them, it's going to make it that much harder to catch back up.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose it, by a full corner and kind of lose sight of him. If you can see him and keep that target fixation and kind of drive forward, it definitely helps you kind of make up some time. And Arch has got the eye on the prize. He's just focused on that back tire of Jamie Hansen. As we see the white flag, we've got one to go. So Arch is, like I said, it's now or never. As we see number 31, Brett Folkert, still out front, running a perfect race. He's doing everything he needs to do. That Leroy Enterprises Sensei Racing KTM. Looks like it's doing its job. Everything's dialed in, and he's going to hopefully, one lap, he'll be bringing home the checkered flag and that #1 trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is exactly what Brett, his sponsors, all of his backing there, that's exactly what they want to see. Another solid performance and looking to try to grab another win here on the last lap. And we'll wait to find out whether or not there's any changes for the second place spot between Jamie Hansen and Arch York. It was Hansen coming across the line to take the white flag in the second place spot. Arch York, he's going to have to find an extra gear on that KTM if he wants a chance to catch up to and get away from the 911 machine. But right now, all smooth sailing at the front here for the number 31 of Brett Folkert. This is exactly how you want to do it. He was able to get the start and was pretty much able to manage the race from there. No managing here right now besides managing to hang on and keep the fight going for second place. Arch York wide open on the KTM Supermoto.
I think he's going to run out of time here.
Yep.
There's a little bit too much of a gap there to make up. I mean, unless something happens, it looks like Jamie's got it under control here as they are in the second half of this lap. And back to Brett there. He's kind of got it under cruise control, coming around the last corner there. Turn 11 and bring home that checkered flag. Brett Folkert, congratulations.
There it is, grabbing the lightweight superbike win. It will be Brett Folkert on the number 31. Does look like it'll be Jamie Hansen on the 911 grabbing second, and going to be Arch York rounding out the podium on that KTM machine, number 913. So a great job from our top three as they make their way here on the cool down lap. Going to do a little bit of waving to the crowd. Maybe we'll see a wheelie. You never know. And we'll keep this train rolling here for the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Great stuff. Folkert's out in Nebraska last month having some success. And it looks like he has picked up right where he left off out here in South Haven, Michigan at Gingerman Raceway. Like we were talking about earlier, if you guys have not already, you can follow us on Bagger Racing League on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yes, I still call it Twitter. And then, of course, if you guys are enjoying it, if you're one of our BRL Racing fans and you're enjoying the coverage here on Racer TV, click that subscribe button. I know I sound like Mr. Beast or one of those other influencers, but it really does make a big difference, not only to us, it makes us feel good, but it also lets the sponsors, lets all of our producers, lets all of our owners know that you guys are enjoying the Racer TV coverage. So that's a little way to give back to those that are trying to bring you some of the best live racing action in the country and in the world on Racer TV. All right, let's take a look at the RacerTV.com replay here for the lightweight superbike class. It was the number 31 of Brett Folkert grabbing the early race lead exactly like he wanted to do, and pretty much setting sail from there. He said, hey, I'm going to let you guys fight over second place. I'm going to ride off to take the gold. You saw getting a little hairy headed into turn 3. Like we talked about, a kind of a blind entry coming into turn 3 with a lot of speed as well. So the riders cresting over a small hill just before they head into turn 3. But this was the 3-rider battle. Arch York on that KTM. The Supermoto is in the mix here in the Superbike class.
Yeah, I think it's so cool. The KTM's, Supermoto, you probably take that bike and convert it and go off-roading if you wanted to, sign up for a GNCC, right? And go out there. But he's out here on the road race course riding with these lightweight and middleweight Superbikes and competing, and it's just cool.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, very nimble on that KTM, able to kind of put the bike where he wants. As you can see, it was an absolute dogfight back and forth between Arch York there on the Kansas 811 backed KTM. And then, of course, you have the 911 of Jamie Hansen. Jamie really putting up a good fight. Seemed like every time Arch was able to find a way around him, he knew he had the horsepower. He wouldn't even get impatient. He'd say, just wait till we hit that straightaway, and even give it a little wave over to Arch at one point while he was making the pass.
Yeah, it's that classic battle of horsepower over, maneuverability. And today it was Jamie Hansen with horsepower that wins it.
Hey, absolutely. The winning the battle for second, because winning the whole shebang here in the lightweight superbike class, Brett Folkerts getting the job done and grabbing the win. So there you go. You see we've got the future of BRL lined up on the fence there. The fans enjoying all of the racing action. As we give you a full rundown here for the lightweight superbike class, we've got Brett Folkerts grabbing the win, Jamie Hansen and Arch York going to round out your podium. Scott Short, Sidney Gard, and Brandon Rao rounding out the field. So a great look at how all of the riders finished. And as you guys, as we had talked about, we've got a whole lot of different fans and spectators and even members within the industry all wanting to come out and check out Bagger Racing League, including the manufacturer Buell. And so we had Buell in the house, and we were able to catch up with them earlier this weekend.
The name Buell has been synonymous with performance, and now we find ourselves right down the street from the world headquarters. Matt Lawrence, one of their engineers, but he said, you know what, I'm taking a day off. I want to go racing.
Yeah, so I've been racing for a couple of years now, and I've been working at Buell for about 9 months now, and it was just kind of a passion thing for me, and then now it's my career. So I couldn't be happier about it. It's a great bike. It's fast. It's American V-twin. What could you ask for?
Tell you what, these guys have done a remarkable job, not only keeping the Buell name alive, but really starting to elevate it. The Super Cruiser is what everybody in the V-twin world is talking about. You guys built a 180 horsepower street cruiser. Man, we sure hope to get it on the track soon.
Yeah, so it's not quite 180 horsepower. We're shooting for about 175. And it's basically our powertrain out of the sport bikes with a little bit detuned to where we could package a standard gas tank and get that more cruiser type look. But yeah, it's a really fun bike. I had it out on the track the 19th, just kind of ripping around with a friend. It handles pretty well. I mean, it's not a sport bike by any means, but it'd give one a run for its money.
I tell you what, folks, if you're looking for a brand new market, make sure that Buell goes to the top of your list.
All right, so some great stuff there from Rob Bidas and the folks over at Buell. We're excited to have them hanging out with us and becoming a part of the BRL Racing action. We've got our air-cooled twins out getting ready to take their warm-up lap, and one of the names that we've got going to be actually out on the track, it'll be the 244 Tony Bangma, and we were able to catch up with Tony a little earlier this weekend and talk about his plans and what he's thinking here at BRL.
Hey, we get asked a lot of times, how do you find the racetracks that you come to? Well, Tony Bangma said, hey, you guys ought to come up to Gingerman. So we did. Thanks for inviting us up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great track. It's great for viewing, great for spectators, great for everybody to show up here, plenty of room, and one of my favorite tracks around here.
You started racing with the BRL last year. You picked up a championship, and now here you are back. It's great to have you.
Yeah, we're here, unfortunately, just for this round, but we're gonna do what we can do.
Well, Tony Bangma is always somebody that's going to put in a fine race effort. We'll look forward to seeing the number 56 out on the track.
So there you go. You were able to catch up, and that's going to be Tony Bangma on the 244 Brown's Furniture back machine with, of course, EBC brakes and Bison Leathers backing him up as well. Now taking a look. Actually looks like it'll be the number 56. So Tony throwing us a curveball there. He had 244 on the paper, but it'll be 56 out on track. And so we've also got Jake McGuire on the 718. He's got that HD of Bowling Green. And looks like Bobby Parker and Tyler McCracken going to be lined up as well. And it looks like that's Chris Rivas out front leading the way, getting the pole position on the 244. So, Tony, this is not the first time that we've seen Chris. Not only has he got the speed, but he's willing to put up the fight for it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a couple of Buells out here, a couple of Harley-Davidson Softails. We see Shredder Bob on his Softail, and Jake McGuire on the Softail at a HD of Bowling Green. So a good mix of motorcycles here, all air-cooled twins, a couple of Buells, a couple of Harleys. The Softails are heavily modified here, as you can see. But if you walk into a dealership and wanted to buy a Softail, that's essentially what you'd be buying, and just heavily modified for track use only. So
we talked about the protocols and procedures as far as joining BRL. All of these riders, not only their machines, but their leathers and their helmets, they all go through spec as well. So safety, obviously a top priority out here at the Bagger Racing League. And all of these riders, no matter what machines, what leathers they brought, it's all got to go through spec and be up to BRL standards.
Yeah, safety is huge out here, from the get-go. The motorcycles all go through tech, your leathers, your boots, your gloves, your helmets, everything is checked to make sure it's safe. And, all of these riders, they have meetings every morning just as a reminder of all the rules and safety precautions to put in. And, safety is the number one priority out here, and then let's have some fun. We're not having fun if people are getting hurt, so safety is huge. It looks like Tony Bangma already starting to check out here. This is his home track. He knows every corner, every little hot tip, what's fast and what's not. He's got that advantage today, and it looks like he's got that Buell out front running good.
Well, and Tony, you can talk about this. This isn't the same as a GNCC racing course or a motocross track. Track not changing quite as much lap to lap. Like we said, the sun's kind of come out. The track is primarily dried up entirely. So to have this home field advantage, this home track advantage, riders can really know exactly what lines they want to take, where they can push, and where they need to check up at.
For sure, and if it's a home track and if you spun a lot of laps here, you don't learn a track in a day. Obviously, a lot of these guys have learned it in short time this weekend, but if you're somebody like Tony Bangma where you've spent a lot of time on this track, you continue to learn things and find things through time. And it looks so simple out there, but, just the way you might enter a corner or avoid a little, dip or hole or something in the asphalt, it's just so slight. It could really, shave a second off of a lap time here or there. And, Bangman's got the home field advantage here today, and he's putting it to good use. So looks like Rivas and that's Jake McGuire on that Softail still battling for second place there. Rivas the 244 and the 781 of Jake McGuire, they're battling for second. Hats off to Jake there on that Softail. That Buell is a very capable road racing motorcycle, and that Softail did not start its life as that, so he's got it hooked up and running good.
Yeah, it really seems like he's able to put up a fight. Chris Rivas, we saw earlier, also wanted to put up a fight, really able to make those passes happen as he's able to slide his way through and snag that second place spot. We'll see whether or not the 718 of McGuire is able to catch back up and get in the mix. Like you said, maybe a little more work in the garage, a little more late nights for McGuire, really getting that thing chopped up and turned into a racing machine, because unlike your off-road stuff where these bikes have been kind of made and manufactured and changed over the years, there's a lot of homemade things being made, a lot of riders doing manual changes and adjustments to their machines so they can come out and race.
Yeah, and probably even more so on the Softail that McGuire's riding. As Bagger Racing League and Bagger Racing in general is coming along, more and more parts are coming available for the baggers, but for the Softails, they're kind of getting left out. So if you're out here still competing on a Softail, yeah, you're building a lot of that stuff in your garage. Maybe you have a buddy with a machine shop or a welding shop, and you're putting some stuff together. And it's cool to see the engineering and thought that goes into some of these builds. And you come out here on the racetrack and put it to the test and see what's working and what's not. Obviously, there's a lot working for Jake on the 718. He's got a lot of help from HD of Bowling Green. He's got some help from Galfer and the braking department and RC Components helping out, trying to get this bike developed and faster and faster every weekend that he's out here. So looks like Rivas is starting to stretch out a little bit of a gap over Jake. And, this is that mid-race, kind of settle in, find your pace, and maybe get ready for 1 or 2 lap charge towards the end of the race.
Yeah, it looks like McGuire may be losing about a bike length or so on that last lap, but if he can maintain this gap, he can't really lose a whole lot more. He's got the chance at that late race charge. We've seen it before. We saw it at rounds 2. Riders really kind of finding their groove by lap 3 or 4 and able to put a finishing sprint on. And we saw some battles coming all the way down to the last turn out in Hastings. But Rivas, on the other hand, he doesn't want anything to do with that. He says, I've made my pass. I want to cruise here in second, and if anything, chase down Anthony Bagman at the front of the field.
Yeah, for sure. Looking a little further back in the pack, looking back in the 4th place spot there, Robert Parker. I talked to him earlier. He's riding injured. He's normally very fast out here. He told me this morning that he's riding at about 50% of his normal pace. He had an accident on a motorcycle, bruised some ribs, and he went down yesterday in the rain, fell on those same bruised ribs, and he's just out there just trying to get through the weekend and trying to make the best of it, but he's at about 50% and still running in 4th. But hats off to Shredder Bob, and still getting out there and making it happen. So as we watch the leader, Bangma still clicking off laps and just making it look easy out there. He could probably do it with his eyes closed around this track, and just making it look really easy and clicking off laps here.
Yeah, very much seems that one with the bike seems to know exactly where he wants to put the machine on the track. And he's in the perfect position to do it, too. Like we said, the start, absolutely crucial. And you can touch on that, Tony, as far as getting the whole shot. We'll just, for example, GNCC racing, of course, obviously off-road, a lot longer of a race, a lot more time to maneuver and make passes. Here at BRL, it's kind of make or break. We've seen riders start on the back of the grid. Things aren't over if you start at the back of the grid, but usually within those first 3 to 4 corners, you want to make some passes while the group is still bunched up.
Yeah, you don't want anybody to, stretch out. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. So, the quickest way to pass 4 or 5 people is right off the gate and, make a few passes into turn 1 and make your job a little bit easier. Obviously, I think in Bangman's situation, he was going to make it look easy no matter what. He's got, as you can see there, a pretty sizable lead and over Rivas and McGuire, and just doing his thing out there. Now it's just focus forward, find your lines, hit your braking points, and just click off laps and bring home the win.
Looks like he is trying to do just that. There you see in the full aerodynamic tuck, trying to stay as close to the bike as possible, not creating any more drag than he needs.
Yeah, as he's coming across the start-finish line here, looks like they might be signaling the halfway mark here for the 56 of Bangma, riding that Buell XB. The XBs are motorcycles that haven't been produced for a handful of years now. I think at least 10 or 12 years since the last XB rolled off the assembly line. And Bang was doing a good job of keeping this motorcycle, in great condition and track worthy and fast, and still out here making it happen on a Buell XB. I love the Buell XBs. I mean, kind of being a Harley technician myself, there's kind of a special place in my heart for the XBs because they do. The XBs run they share the motor with the Harley Davidson Sportster, and I know the inside of that motor, by heart. So it's kind of cool to see. I love seeing the Buells out here and still being competitive.
Yeah, and such a good point worth talking about as well, because we talk about you being an established racer, knowing exactly what it takes to strap the helmet on and get the job done, but we are in the Tucker Speed studio, so talk a little bit about what your weeks look like. Obviously, you know what it takes to not only ride one of these things, but help put them together as well.
Sure, back home in my shop, Tucker Speed, we're a performance shop. We do a lot of high-performance builds. We work on Harley Davidson motorcycles and trying to make them go fast and stop quick. I do a lot of dyno tuning on a daily basis. Really that's kind of my office anymore. That's the joke is at the shop. I have a few guys that do a lot of my motor builds. They put everything together. I take it over and put it in the dyno machine and get it dialed in. So, but just seeing these bikes out here, I'm a Harley dude, through and through. I love all motorcycles, but I work on Harleys every day, and they have a special place in my heart. So seeing this XB out front is just cool to me.
Hey, absolutely. We're enjoying every second of it here on RacerTV.com. We hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast as well, as we're trying to watch Tony Bagma will try to bring it home here in the air-cooled twins class. Going to be only a couple laps left. I'm trying to take a look at our head flagger here, see whether or not that white flag is going to be coming out next time around. Looks like he may have a few more laps to go. And he's exactly where he wants to be, out front, all by his lonesome on a Saturday cruise. Sunshine's coming out here in Michigan. And these are the times that you enjoy riding right here, as he's doing exactly what he wants to do out at the front of the field.
Yeah, and if it looks like Chris Rivas is still holding down that second place position. Chris also on a Buell XB, so we're going to have an XB 1-2 finish today if it finishes like it is right now. Jake McGuire still holding down that third position, and Jake, I think, will be happy with that podium finish. And Jake, to my understanding, is fairly new to the road racing stuff, and to be sitting in a podium position is very respectable. We should be happy with that. And Robert Parker and Holger Kosling finishing out your top 5 as we see the running order top of the screen there. Bangma still clicking off laps, making it look easy, making our job hard. Not much action to talk about here, but Bangman's just doing his job. He's just out there, head forward, eyes forward, just clicking off laps and making it look easy. There's the white flag, so 1 to go here, and into turn 1. And turn 2 is kind of cool. It's kind of like almost, banked, kind of going up the hill. Turn 2 is a really cool corner, as you see there, and they head up the hill. And like I said, we talked earlier, get to the top of the hill there, and you are in that corner. So you got to have a really good braking point that you're focused on. You know exactly when to hit the brake so that you don't end up out into the woods there behind Spectator Hill. So Anthony Bangma still charging forward. Last lap here, he's just got to stay focused. Hit his markers one more time. He can bring home a checkered flag and take home that trophy, start his weekend off right. We're going to be racing here tomorrow as well. And, the best thing to do this weekend is take home 2 number 1 trophies in this class, and Bangma's making it, getting off to an early start to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And to touch on that, so like we said, rounds 3 and 4 going down this weekend. Riders going to get their daily trophies today as far as, hey, congratulations, you took the round 3 win. But then we're also going to have kind of the weekend champions, if you will. We've got these really cool BRL belts, almost WWE style, right? Big, heavy, shiny. And whoever gets the overall for the weekend is going to get to hold those up at the end of the day tomorrow. So we'll take the scores very similar to like a motocross type scoring, where Sunday is going to take the tiebreaker, such as the second moto takes the tiebreaker. So we'll see whether or not Anthony's going to be looking at a 1-1, or if Chris Rivas is able to find some extra speed, maybe get a little better start, and he can sit there and maybe take a pass and go 2-1 for the overall weekend win here in the air-cooled twins class. As we take a look, there is Anthony Bagma. Tony, as he goes by, grabbing what looks to be the first win of the day. We don't want to jinx him quite yet. Still got a few corners left to go. And you got to stay laser focused all the way through the checkered flag. Even that final turn number 11 can give you some trouble if you're not careful on it. So want to make sure. Looks like he's back down the pace just a little bit as well. Just really wants to focus on bringing that thing across the line.
Yeah, it looks like Rivas and McGuire still holding down the same positions. Our top 3 there. Bangma, Rivas, McGuire.
And taking a look now, here comes the checkered flag as it comes out for, there he is, high rate of speed coming across the line. It's going to be Tony Bagma grabbing the win. It does look like Rivas going to hang on. And it looks like that'll be McGuire coming across the line after him.
Got some fans taking a little lap around the track.
And while we get the cool down lap underway and get ready for our next group, we're going to let you guys take a listen to some of the amazing sponsors that help make us happen here at BRL. We couldn't do it without them. So we'll be back to the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers Round 3 here in just a minute.
Trask Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components, all made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Bridgestone's reintroducing their supermoto tires here in the United States and Canada. That's the BMO1 front and the RO2 rear. It's available in a 16.5 inch as well as a 17 inch configuration. The Racing Battle Axe is a non-DOT tire, and we definitely recommend tire warmer. Time's the only thing in life that money can't buy, but you can buy Bridgestones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to round number 3 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Zach Herron here alongside Tony Tucker in the Tucker Speed Studio. We're excited to have you guys live here on Racer TV and excited for the partnership between BRL and Racer TV moving forward. We're excited because this is BRL's first trip to Gingerman Raceway here in beautiful South Haven, Michigan, but we're not the only ones. We had the mayor of South Haven as well as the Chamber of Commerce all coming out to hang out with us this weekend and have a good time at BRL.
Most exciting things when we came to Gingerman was the mayor, Annie Brown, said, I'm going to come out and say hi and welcome you. Last night we went down to the water. We had a magnificent kickoff, and now here we are at Gingerman. What a great city you have.
Oh, thank you so much, and we're glad you're here. We love Gingerman, and it's exciting. It's a fun event. And Gingerman is great for our economy. So we love when people come here and fill up our hotels and lodgings. So we're really grateful. And who doesn't like a family-owned business? So this is great.
Mayor Annie Brown, when she came out to the track today, we said we can't wait to see if we come back here next year. We want to have you out there on a lap of honor. Will you take it?
I'll take it. Sounds great. It's very exciting.
Annie Brown, the mayor here in beautiful South Haven, Michigan.
And there you go, hearing from the mayor herself, having a great time. But she was not the only one. Of course, we had the Chamber of Commerce hanging out with us this weekend as well.
Here at Gingerman Raceway, we had a chance to talk to the mayor, but the Chamber of Commerce said we want to welcome everybody that comes out here. So, ladies, we truly appreciate what you've done, the way you guys have rolled out the amazing blue carpet for us here in Michigan.
Thank you. Yeah, we're so happy to have you all here. It's amazing. Everybody looks like they're enjoying themselves. The bikes are so cool. It's really cool to get to learn about all of this that's going on. You know, I've never been to anything like this, and it's amazing that we have this sort of thing here in South Haven. So we're really excited to be here today and learn more and watch the bikes.
You know, when you talk about coming to South Haven, tourism is a big part of it here. We talked to the mayor last night. We made our way down to the water. The whole entire town, from wakeboard parks to restaurants, you have something for everybody here.
Definitely. South Haven is a year-round town. A lot of people think of us just in the summertime, but we're so excited to have you guys here. There's something you can go swimming at our beaches. There's trails to ride. Obviously, Gingerman is a huge attraction as well, so you can find anything for everyone here.
Man, does South Haven know how to have a good time. If you folks are looking to make a destination, make South Haven one of your #1 points. And while you're here, come on out to Gingerman.
Man, so cool to see how excited the town of South Haven and the entire group of fans out here are to have us, BRL, out at their raceway, just as excited as we are to be out here at Gingerman. Obviously, we were out at MPH Motorsports Park Hastings just a couple of weeks ago, just over a month ago. And it's kind of crazy, Tony. We found out yesterday that the same designer designing Gingerman as well, or being a part of the design process. But it's really cool to see just how excited the towns and the surrounding areas are to have us here in their hometown racing and bringing BRL Racing action to their front door.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when the locals, both on the government and people that live here are excited to see us come out. It's always a good feeling to know that we're adding something to their community and that they're going to welcome us back next year and build a good relationship with some of these communities that can form over years. And it's great to see. So the folks here in South Haven have been awesome, and all the locals are showing up. You can see on screen there the bleachers and the spectator hill are all full of fans, kids. You could see people doing cool stuff out there.
Hey, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's fun to see everybody excited about, this Bagger Racing League being out here in their backyard.
Yeah, without a doubt, and always very nice to be welcomed with open arms as well. So a huge shout out to the mayor and, of course, the Chamber of Commerce as well for being so excited and actually coming down and seeing the action in person. It sounds like they were not just watching, they're trying to learn about the bikes and about the racers and how BRL came to be and the full story. So always great to see that they've got an interest in the series as well. As we get ready for our Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited class, got a great group of riders coming up here in this one. We'll start at the top of the chart where it looks like Craig Braymiller, on the 418 coming all the way from New York on that A-plus performance-backed cycling machine, along with Geezer Engineering and Noon Incorporated backing Craig. So Craig's got some great sponsors in his corner.
Yeah, we got Sam Gearin out there on the 418, the Canadian on the Original Garage Moto team, backed by Original Garage Moto, Bridgestone, and Fremont Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, Jake McGuire, there's a name that we've already said once today, coming from Kentucky, riding that Harley-Davidson Bowling Green-backed machine, along with Galfer and RC Components helping Jake out.
Yeah, Bobby Parker, the 61 out of Indiana, the Shredder Bob Racing, Two Boss Performance, S&S Cycles, and Geezer Engineering giving him some help.
Absolutely. Now, of course, Carl Schlacht, another rider that we've seen, former professional supercross and motocross racer coming out of Ohio on the number 8. He's on that Speed Farm HHI Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson backed machine and qualifying in the 4th place spot here on the grid for the ATU class.
Yeah, so riders are out on the siding lap right now. For some of these racers, they've been out on track already. For a few others, it's the first time they're seeing the track. And the track, the sun's kind of poking out there a little bit, so the track's going to be quite a bit different than it was this morning before lunch and qualifying and practice. So some of these racers are going to be seeing the track for the first time in a few hours, really get an idea of how well it's drying out there. I think, Craig Braymiller, I think this is his first round out. Carl, we've seen earlier in the Super Street class. Bob Parker, he was out in the American Twins Unlimited, riding injured. He's running, back-to-back races here, injured at that. So hats off to Bob for getting out there.
No excuses here at BRL. You gotta play hurt, as my grandfather likes to say. Get out there and get the job done, and he's looking to do just that. As there you see your riders on their warm-up lap, and like you said, some riders may be paying a little more attention than others. Some been out there just a little bit ago, and then others it's been a couple of hours since this morning's practice and qualifying runs since they've seen the track. Tony, you can touch on this. Like you said, the sun kind of peeking out. I haven't been out of the tower in the last few hours, but I'm sure the temperature kind of rising up as well. Do you think that's going to cause the riders to change up any, whether mechanically or just the way they approach certain aspects of the race?
I think obviously confidence in going into the corner is going to have a big effect there. They may make some changes to like tire pressures and stuff like that based on how the track is, how much grip is out there right now. So, they're going to make all those calls before they head out on track, so they've already done that. And hopefully that, they've done their homework and they know where they need to be and they've made the right decision before they head out on track because, once you go out on the siding lap, it is what it is now.
Absolutely, and it's a good point worth noting. We're obviously focused on the individual riders that are out there, but this truly is a team effort. A lot of these riders you hear, we're giving huge shout-outs to the sponsors and the people that are backing them up, but almost all of these riders have 2 to 3 to sometimes 6 or 7 different team members and pit members all dedicated to trying to set their machines up as solidly as possible. You have a lot of different large teams that have multiple riders across different classes, but truly this is a lot more than just a one-trick pony. You've got to have the right suspension guy, the right engine guy. You've got to have the right parts and somebody to not only kind of watch what you're doing out on practice, maybe even give you a little bit of information about what it looks like your bike's doing that you can't notice in the saddle yourself.
Right, you know, some of these guys have the ability, they have the benefit and advantage of being on a big team. Some of these guys are just out here on their own. You know, they're working on their bikes in their garages all by themselves. They're self-funding this operation. And obviously a team makes it a whole lot easier. But, you know, hats off to some of these guys that are just racing out of their garage. They're making it happen. They're doing a lot of their own mechanical work, their own fabrication on the motorcycles, and still coming out here and competing and, you know, having fun out there. I know there's no lack of passion out there on the grid. Every one of these guys loves doing what they're doing. You know, they're not getting rich doing this. They're just doing it for the love of it. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of soul that goes into what we're seeing on the screen right now.
Without a doubt, we're going to be seeing them go wide open here in just a minute. Looks like we've got the red flag clear. Racetrack is clear. Green flag is up in the air. And we're racing here for the Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited class.
Wow, Carl got a great jump and almost ran into the back of the 188 of Matthew Laurent there. That was a close call. We'll have to catch up with Carl later on and chat with him about that. But, yeah, that was a close call. He almost caused a collision there right off the start. I don't know if Laurent had an issue or just maybe the bike hesitated or something, but that was close. So I believe this is the 56 of Tony Bangma.
Yep, so
out front already. Back-to-back races for Bangma again. And a home track advantage really playing in. He's already stretching out that lead and making it look easy. So, you know, see if there's some battles that will be forming further back in the pack, because it looks like Bangma's just going to make short work of this and check out.
He's definitely going to try to do just that. We saw him take advantage of the gap that he had just one race ago. Really backed it down on that last lap, trying to maybe catch his breath a little bit, go ahead and get focused for the race up ahead here in the ATU class. But, yeah, like you said, a little bit of almost collision there early in the race. Carl Schlack, I don't know what the guy is doing, but he is an absolute rocket ship off of the grid. Seems like every time the flag drops, he's up towards the front.
Maybe it's all them Supercross gate drops.
Maybe.
You know, he's learned that starts are huge, and he's got them nailed. Because every time he is just launching off the line and getting good starts, and trying to be first into turn one, and trying to get out early. As we see Bangma and Folkerts out front, and you know, these guys. This is an unlimited class, meaning that there are no rules to what you could be racing out here. That's why you're seeing, you know, some super bikes. You know, Bangma on that Buell, an American twin. Laurent on a super bike on that 188. He's out there, and you're seeing some baggers and some soft tails. And so an unlimited class is just that, unlimited. Yeah, a lot of guys use this as a second class to get out there and get more seat time, more track time. You know, they may run like the Super Street class and then run the unlimited. So it's a fun kind of catch-all class and see all the different makes and the models, kind of mix it up at one time.
Well, and this also allows us to see two race winners that have already gone across the finish line to go and do battle now. We saw Matthew Laurent take one of the early race wins, and then, of course, Tony Bangma just grabbing a win a few minutes ago. So now these two riders are going to get to do battle. As we see, they've already separated themselves at the top of the field.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, this XB and, you know, the super bike that Laurent's riding, you know, are very capable road course motorcycles. They have a huge advantage over some of the baggers. As you see, they're kind of starting to stretch things out here. But that's the beauty in this class is, you know, kind of see how all these bikes kind of, you know, how they stack up against each other. And, you know, the racetrack never lies, right?
Yep.
So it's fun to see as we see Bangma and Laurent just kind of checking out, making easy work of this. Like to see who's further back there in third place and further back in the field, how they're running out. So,
yeah, we've got our top two podium positions here right in front of us, and they're still within a second or two of one another, so would not be surprised if we don't see some battles up there. Let's see who is going to crest the hill and be holding on to that final podium spot. Look at the gap that those top two have already opened up. Here we go. Looks like coming over the hill, it is going to be Craig Braymiller holding down that final podium spot on one of those bagger machines. So like you said, the unlimited truly does mean unlimited, as we've got a vast difference in the bikes that we have on track.
Yeah, Bray Miller, those guys, the A-Plus Performance team, they're out here on a new motorcycle this year. They were racing a couple of bikes in the past few years. They went home, built a new motorcycle, and that bike's running really well. They're a very competitive team. The A-Plus Performance Cycle team has done a good job putting a nice motorcycle together out there.
So we got a quick glance there of Bray Miller in the third place spot. So we check back in with your leader.
Yeah, it looks like Bangma, just like last race, just out there making it look too easy, and gives us a lot of time to talk about some of the other sponsors. Bangma, sponsored by Bruni's Furniture. Those guys that are, you'll see it on the front of his leathers, giving him a lot of help and a lot of support, helping him get to these races. Matthew Laurent out there on that super bike, holding down second place there on screen, and trying to maybe try and make an attack on Bangma here if he can.
Yeah, he's hanging tough. He's not losing a lot of time, it seems like, right now, but he's definitely going to need to figure something out, start closing that gap up if he wants to be able to pressure for the lead. I haven't really seen a lot of riders be able to close those gaps up once they get established, especially once they're in the 3 to 5 second range.
And it's interesting, as many issues as we saw all day yesterday in practice with the weather and, a few bikes going off track and a few, minor wrecks here and there. Today has been relatively straightforward. Not a lot of mistakes happening today. I don't know if everybody's just still riding a little bit cautious because of the rain we were dealing with yesterday and this morning, and the track's just holding it a little better. So everybody, so far all the classes today, everything has gone off, for the most part, very mistake-free. All the leaders have done their job, minimized those mistakes, and just held their lead and held their own and just doing their job out there.
Want to give a shout-out to the backside of our top 5. Emilio Jimenez sits in the 4th place spot with Robert Parker, rounding out the top 5 as they sit right now. So we'll wait to see whether or not that changes up at all. There we go, catching a glimpse a little further in the pack.
Looks like that's Bob Parker and Jake McGuire and Carl Schlock rounding out the back of the field there as they head into turn 3.
You get a really good idea of the hill that they kind of crest up there headed into turn 3. You couldn't even really catch a glimpse of turn 3 on that camera shot just because of the change in elevation.
Yeah, on screen the elevation is very deceiving. You're out here in person, you really get to see when you're on track that the elevation plays a huge factor into this. And if you've never ridden a road course, it's pretty unnerving to be wide open throttle heading up a hill and not being able to see where the corner, knowing there's a corner at the top of the hill but not being able to see it, and it just takes nerves of steel to really just hold the throttle wide open until you hit that braking marker, and then it's chop the throttle and on the brakes as hard as you can.
Well, and then on top of that, they really didn't have accurate practice all day yesterday.
Right.
We had the sprinkling going on all day long. Riders were out on course, but the braking zone's obviously going to start a little later in the drying conditions when you can charge harder into the corners. So a lot of these riders, kind of like you said earlier, Tony, kind of still feeling things out and setting those race marks. Like we said, we're also racing all day tomorrow, so riders may be trying to get fully dialed in for day number 2.
Sure, yeah, and like you said, everybody's still trying to find those braking markers, because on a dry track with hot tires, the name of the game is full throttle until you chop the throttle, and then it just all brakes. And but that takes full traction, and when the track is wet, you have to let off a little earlier and just ease into the brakes, and obviously that just adds time. So these guys are finding those limits as the race goes on. And I think that's why we saw a few issues this morning as the track was drying but not quite dry, as guys were searching for those limits. And unfortunately, I think for a few guys this morning, the limits found them before they found it and went off track. But we got a few good battles still forming out on track right now as we see
it looks like
Tony Bang was still out front with a sizable lead. We don't even see anybody coming up over the hill yet. So we see Bray Miller, and
I believe that's actually Emilio Jimenez.
Oh, you're right.
Leading that pack right there with Parker just behind. They came by almost wheel to wheel across the finish line in front of the tower, and it looks like They've got
I think that's Jake McGuire.
Yeah, I believe so.
Back
On the
of that
718.
pack there. Yep. So we got Jimenez and Parker and McGuire just out there mixing it up. And these guys are all battling for 4th position, but these guys, I know they're grinning ear to ear underneath those helmets. There's
Absolutely.
nothing better than out there just battling with your buddies. Trying to dive underneath. Good, clean racing. These guys are just having a blast out there right now.
Yeah, and to your point, nobody's trying to put anybody down. Obviously, like you said, nobody's entire life savings is up for grabs here. No $1 million grand prize. Obviously, they mean business. They want to do well, right? It is the BRL. They want that championship. They want the trophies, the belt by the end of the weekend. But like you said, Jimenez there holds down the 4th place spot right now with Parker in 5th, and then McGuire in the 6th place spot. And for them, it's just like, hey, I want to get inside the top 5. I want to be knocking on the door of a podium, and they're fighting tooth and nail to do just that.
Yeah, no matter what it is you race, if you've raced motorcycles at all, you know that some of the best times, you could be dead last, but if you're just in a battle with your buddy, it's some of the best times. Makes us feel like a kid again. You're just out there having a good time, banging bars, trying to make it pass and make it stick. As you see Bob Parker leading the way. Looks like Bob got the pass on Emilio there. So Bob's sitting in 4th, Emilio 5th, and Jake McGuire in 6th as they take the white flag. Looks like Bangma taking the white flag. 1 lap to go. He's making it look easy here, and we'd like to give him more camera time, but that battle out back is looking pretty fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Some close racing there towards the backside of the top 5, but got to give credit where it's due. This guy has earned the right to be all by himself out front, and Tony Bangma able to do exactly what he needs and able to do it back-to-back as well. We thought Laurent did give him a little bit of a run for his money early in the race, but he's been able to respond and open that gap right back up like we saw in the previous class.
And obviously, to be running this pace, back-to-back races, obviously he must be visiting the gym on a regular basis, must be in pretty good shape. He's got the fitness dialed in. He's got the motorcycle dialed in. He's got everything figured out, and everything's working together as it looks like Tony's looking to put Carl a lap down there. Carl's probably a little gassed right now. Looks like he's just kind of settled in and clicking off laps there. But Bangma finishing out this last lap, going to bring home the checkers with back-to-back wins, 2 races in a row. That's respectable.
Yeah, hard not to feel great about that one. So Tony Bangma bringing it home here in the Zippers American Twins Unlimited class. We'll wait to find out exactly how the podium and the top 5 are going to wrap up. Matthew Laurent holds on to 2nd with Craig Braymiller rounding out the top 3 last time they came around. Looks like the battle is still on towards the backside of the field. They come through, and here we go. Checker flag is waving. It's going to be Tony Bangma grabbing the win in the Zippers ATU class.
Yeah, and he's got a really big lead over Laurent right now. So, great ride by Bangma. Bringing it home.
Not really much more you can say. Great ride.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I'm
textbook
kind of at a
right
loss
there.
for words here on what do you say. I mean, a win like that is huge. Not a whole lot of competition there for Tony Bangma. He made it look easy and did his job out there. So hats off to him as we wait to see the results for 2nd and 3rd and the rest of the podium.
So going to be interesting to see. We'll find out whether or not, or find out who exactly is going to be joining him on the podium, as well as rounding out that top 5. Here in the Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited class. Like we said, folks, this is a double-header event, so we will be revamping up all of the racing action coming up in just a little bit, and we'll be doing it all over again tomorrow. And taking a look now at the Battles of the Baggers Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited Top 10 board. So it does look like it was Tony Bangma grabbing the win, with Matthew Laurent and Craig Braymiller going to get on the podium. Robert Parker, he hangs on for that 4th place spot, with Jake McGuire, rounding out your top 5. Looks like things did not go the way Emilio Jimenez was wanting, as he slides just outside of the top 5 on that last lap, with Carl Schlack, Oleg, and Samuel rounding out your top 10. We talk about horsepower, obviously important. You got to be able to go fast, but one of the underappreciated aspects of BRL racing is being able to stop. Well, there's nobody better to talk about stopping power than our main man, Larry Mills, over at DP Brakes.
Well, folks, when you're with the BRL, you want to make sure that you talk to some of the celebrities, and not all of them are racers. Larry Mills has been road racing royalty for decades, thanks to what your father did, yep. And you jumped on board with BRL immediately when and you said, we're going road racing. Yep. We got to make sure you guys can slow down.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We've been here since day one, and it's been a great series for us. We learn a lot from all this racing that we do, the riders, the feedback and all that stuff. It's great for our product because we're able to get all this information and send it back to the factory where they can make changes to whatever we have now.
You know, one of the things that we're really proud of is since our inception, Drag Specialties has been a big part of this. And whenever they're here, they have a giant catalog that every motorcycle shop basically has as the lead into the aftermarket world. And your product has been in there for 60 years probably, something like that?
Well, we've been exclusive with Drag Specialties now since 1995. So, I mean, we're very proud to be an exclusive line of theirs, brakes and clutches. But, they have a great group of people there. We're treated like family, great reps, great management, and we love being part of their group, and we're family, as I said.
Larry Mills and DP Brakes, always, always down with the BRL.
Always awesome hearing from Larry Mills there with DP Brakes. Larry, like we said, he's one of those guys that eats, sleeps, and breathes the sport. And one of the guys that really, he's shaking hands, he's hanging out, and he's hanging out for the live music in the evening. He's going to the parties beforehand. He's truly a part of the BRL Racing Series in all aspects, even beyond DP Brakes. And another one of our fantastic sponsors that you guys will see around the pits and see really becoming a bigger part of the BRL series and series of events is Sly Fox. And we were able to catch up with Alex Fox a little bit earlier this weekend and chat with him.
Bagger racing, everyone's talking about performance, but what about the chassis? Subframes, swing arms, and front ends? Alloy Art is the stop for all of those.
Absolutely. We've been out here since the very first one that you put together at Laguna Seca. And, the motor's one thing. It's a huge thing, obviously. But, you talk to a lot of these traditional road race sport bike guys that have come over, and they're like, we don't care about the horsepower. I mean, that's what they say anyway. We don't care about the horsepower. Get the thing to handle right. I want this thing to go where I want it to go when I point it. I don't want it to push this, that, and the other thing. So, yeah, we've concentrated a lot of our efforts towards, lightening the bike, making it more rigid, things of that nature, like you mentioned, the chassis and suspension.
Alloy Art has been in the game for a long time, and if you want to make sure that you have every advantage, get the Fat Book when you head into the dealership and make sure that you look up every alloy part. I'm trusting you to do this because it'll make your bike better. Robbie, thanks so much for coming out and have a great weekend.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Alloy Art in the house at the BRL.
All right, always great to catch up with Alloy Art. PAG, our producer Adam Gordon, switching the order up on me. So Alloy Art in the house with us, another one of those great sponsors that not only helps one riders, but really helps a lot of the field. But now we do have Sly Fox and Alex Fox to chat it up with their time here at BRL.
Everybody talks about performance, but you know what makes performance? Lightweight. Alex Fox from Sly Fox here has addressed the lightweight thing by putting these baggers on an incredible diet. The whole carbon fiber line you have has really changed the game.
It really has. We started with one part, and now we're working on like 30 or 40 different part numbers with just our carbon line alone, and a lot of that stuff's ran on the race bikes you see behind us.
I know that you developed a bagger that came to the very first bagger race ever. How much of that bike is the same as today, or have you guys changed everything over the last 4 years?
I mean, if we were to have that bike compared to what it is now, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. It's completely changed in the amount of 3 years or 4 years that we've been doing this. So it's evolved, that's for sure.
I tell you what, the guys at Sly Fox are evolving as well. Make sure you grab that big Fat Book from Drag Specialties. Head over into the fenders, the dashes, the exhaust, the seats. Everything is going wild. Make sure you check out Sly Fox.
So great to hear from Alex there, another integral part of what makes BRL such a great event. Obviously, Alex helping out with the Drifter Cross as well, which is going to be something you guys are going to be hearing a lot about. I won't dive too deep into it, but definitely worth checking out as well. And then Sly Fox on board with us here giving us all kinds of great parts. Usually you look towards the front of the field, especially in those bagger classes, you're going to see a Sly Fox sticker somewhere on there because, like we were talking about earlier, it takes a village to be able to get the riders out there to get those machines in tip-top shape. So between stopping power from DP brakes, keeping things lightweight from Sly Fox, or, of course, all of the great offers there from Alloy Art, we're in good hands here at BRL.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams out here and brands that have taken the opportunity to come out here and race their baggers and then develop parts, and I think those are two great examples in Alloy Art, Sly Fox. Both of those two gentlemen are taking information from the motorcycles they have on track and taking it back to their shops, to their facilities, and building parts for the everyday motorcycles like you see on screen right now. All of those motorcycles are benefiting from what is being developed out on the racetrack by teams and brands like those guys. So hats off to those guys for using this opportunity to make the aftermarket motorcycle parts world a better world.
Yeah, and we couldn't do without any of them. And, of course, I know it was Larry Mills there that mentioned Drag Specialties. We want to give them a huge shout-out as well. Of course, the title sponsor on board with us here for the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. So anytime you guys are looking to replace any parts or make any changes or upgrades, head to your local dealer and ask for the Drag Specialties book. And so we're going to take another minute or two here. We're going to catch up with some more of our sponsors, let you guys know exactly who you need to be looking for whenever you need to get your bike serviced. And we'll be back here for the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back here to beautiful South Haven, Michigan for round number 3 of the 2024 Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. We're here at Gingerman Raceway for what has already been a great day of racing. We had practice early this morning, followed by some qualifying, and then through the green flag just a little bit ago. We want to welcome all of our brand new viewers on Racer TV and Racer TV Live for joining over. I know we've got a lot of the GNCC Racing Nation. We've got a lot of the amateur motocross crew getting ready for the Loretta Lynn's Amateur National coming up. And we are going to, it's Tony. Obviously, we talked about your experience in BRL, but you got a little bit of a motocross background as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be, working with you guys and Racer TV. And, you guys do a lot with the GNCC world. I'm a huge off-road motorcycle fan and enthusiast. So, the opportunity to kind of work with you guys and, be broadcasting to the Racer TV fan base is a great opportunity for me because, I love all things off-road. I mean, I love everything two wheels, whether we're talking GNCC, Supercross, the outdoors, or whatever it is. And so, I'm really lucky and honored to be a part of the team.
Well, we are truly honored to have you and excited to see what the rest of 2024 brings and, of course, the future of Bagger Racing League as well. And it's going to be a fun season. Obviously, here at round 3, we've got another round coming up in November out in California. We've got the Mid-Ohio race where some of the riders are coming through and going to be competing for an AMA title, and then we've also got that Canadian Invitational. That one's going to be extremely fun as well. But next up, getting ready to take to the grid, we're going to have our Andrews Products Bagger GP class. There you see Ruben Zaus getting ready, blowing kisses to the fans. And you can see just behind him that Fueling logo, Fueling, another one of the big sponsors here at BRL and the title sponsor for Ruben and his entire program. And we were able to catch up with them a little earlier this weekend.
One of the most exciting things that the BRL has spawned is the aftermarket industry creating better, faster, and higher performance parts. The guys at Fueling have been in the game since day one, and as we continue to move forward, you guys are always a step ahead of the competition.
Hey, we're rocking and rolling. We get to use this, the BRL Racing, as the platform for our new products and, developing new and better performance products. The boys have been busy back at the shop in the R&D department, and, I think we've got 6-7 new products in the works right now. Hopefully the drag catalog, we'll see them here in the next issue.
When you talk about coming out with brand new products, you can't replicate what you can experience here in maybe just an hour or so, the temperatures, the RPMs and everything. This really is a way for a company that wants to find out how their product stacks up to really put it to the test.
100%. I mean, we're out there grinding on the dyno and on the street, but you really want to test some of the stuff, put it on the racetrack for a little bit. Even a handful of laps really tells you what's going on.
Tell you what, race fans, if you want something that is track tested, Fueling is the way to go.
So great hearing there from the Fueling family and all that they bring to BRL. And, of course, not only are they helping out the BRL series in general, but a huge part of Ruben Zaus's program. Ruben, one of the more well-known names here in the Bagger Racing League. He's got world-renowned experience, and we were able to catch up with round 1 and 2 winner Ruben Zaus earlier this weekend.
Bagger Racing League, Andrews Bagger GP class. The points leader, Ruben Zaus, you know the name from being an international superstar. You're in the BRL Points Championship lead is yours right now.
Yeah, we are lucky to have the best situation out there. The bike is running very well. The Fueling team is understanding what I need. All my partners from Italy are joining us, the team, and the bike is becoming every time better and better. So more easy to ride. Things are coming in, and really pleased with.
One of the things that we've been really excited about is Ruben has been taking the BRL name, and it is now spreading like wildfire through Europe. There's an opportunity for 2025 that the BRL will become a global brand.
Yeah, at the end, with you and I, we spoke a lot. You helped me to just become really a BRL racer and feel at home. At the end, Europe is following the series a lot, and many of the partners, as I said before, are Italians or Europeans, people that has experience in World Superbikes and MotoGP racing championships, and Baggers is a new smelling, a new situation that people wants to jump on board. And I'm convincing everybody in Europe to just try to set up something with you and get the BRL Racing League Europe through Italy, Spain, Andorra, and maybe France. So we're just pushing hard, and luckily by August, September, we can have some news.
Ruben Zaus riding for Fueling, the points leader in the Andrews Bagger GP, and he's helping us take the BRL global.
All right, so there you see Ruben and his entire Fueling team getting set up, getting ready to go do battle in that Andrews Products Bagger GP class. We've talked about braking, we've talked about suspension, we've talked about Fueling, alloy art, all the great things that they offer. Well, another key element of racing, got to talk about tires. We were able to catch up with Pirelli earlier this weekend.
Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger is definitely one of our biggest and most interesting classes. The bikes are modified, the riders are on the rise up, and Pirelli jumped on board because you said this is our customer. Oscar, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us, and we're glad to be a part of it for sure.
You know, Pirelli's such a worldwide racing brand, and when we had this opportunity to bring bagger racing to you, you guys said this is a great grassroots effort for us to really introduce people to the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the segment, we love the people, and it's racing, so of course Pirelli's going to be a part of it.
Well, you know, Pirelli's on the scene. It's some of the best quality tires in the business, and with Oscar here, the attention to detail, well, that goes above and beyond.
All right, great to hear from Pirelli Racing and all that they bring to not only the Bagger Racing League, but to the individual riders as well, giving them a lot of different options. We all know exactly how important tire selection is, and as well as maintaining those tires throughout the racing weekend. Like we said, we've got some great racing coming up next. Arguably our main event, we've got the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class, and then, of course, that Andrew Products Bagger GP. We figured we got to catch up with some of the riders that are going to be out there doing battle, including the number 32 of Jesse Janisch.
The Andrews Bagger GP class has a rider that's already been crowned a champion in the AFT Flat Track Series. Jesse Janisch is here with us again. Jesse, I know that this weekend is going to be another doubleheader. We're up in Gingerman Raceway. You actually have probably more time at this track than anyone here.
Yeah, but that was about 20 years ago. So it's been a long time. We got a couple laps in today. Luckily, it's still the same, so it's good to get to a familiar racetrack. But yeah, flat track, that was a while ago. We're road racing now, so we're having a lot of fun.
Let's talk real quick about the differences. I know that back in the day, flat track racers always kind of really came into their own in road racing because of the sliding of the bike. Do you feel that that gives you a big advantage?
Yeah, I think the throttle control thing from flat track kind of becomes a factor. These baggers, especially the Slide Glide, she makes a lot of power, so throttle control is definitely important with how much power we're making out of these things. So, I mean, this was just like a natural thing for me. So I just came from flat track and went road racing. So I guess I can't speak for the other guys. To me, it was very similar to like ice riding. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Wisconsin, so did a lot of ice riding. And yeah, it came pretty natural, but I was also really young when I learned how. So benefiting from that, but we definitely had a long gap from the last time I was here till now. So hopefully, yeah, we'll get some track time, and we're looking forward to the races.
Jesse Janisch getting ready to go here. Make sure you stop by and check him out here at the Suburban Harley-Davidson Slide Glide 2.
All right, great to hear from Jesse, and excited to see what he's able to do here in just a few minutes as we get ready to get the Bagger GP and Pro Stock Bagger classes off and rolling for their warm-up lap. As here we are here in the Tucker Speed Studios, Zach Herron and Tony Tucker alongside special guest, another rider we wish was out there, but he's in the studio hanging out with us, Clay Braun. Clay, give the fans at home a little bit of an update. You had an injury coming into the season, had an accident, but your bike's out there.
Yes.
I know you wish you were on it, but you've got a great pilot getting it around the course. What do you think about BRL 2024?
It's been great, man. Luckily, with the help of FDR Foundation, we help down riders and all that stuff, which they helped me get through this whole process as well. I couldn't ask for a better teammate and a better dude to fill in for my bike, which is Tony Salima. And my recovery's been slow, but it's been speedy. I've been trying to do everything I possibly can to get back on a bike. Physical therapy at least once a week, and then doing all my own stuff on on my own time, because if I'm not doing it, then I'm not growing, and I'm not actually getting back in the sport. So I love this stuff, and I need to be back. So hopefully Willow Springs I'll be there.
Hey, absolutely. We'd be excited to see you back on the bike for sure. We heard you were trying to get out to Hastings, Nebraska. I know you wanted to be out there to watch, but you're here in Michigan this weekend. I know I saw you cruising around yesterday, scoping out practice. What did you think about the racing action we've had so far in 2024, and what are you looking for when the green flag flies here in just a few?
So I think it's super nice, especially with everything with the Super Street, Pro Stock, and GP. There's so much competitiveness just between those three classes. Like Jake Masters, I can't wait to see him in Pro Stock and eventually probably move up after that. So it's really cool to have a entry level to a whole nother, I guess, professional style of racing, and we all look out for each other. So Bagger Racing League is really the I guess, the tip of the iceberg for professional fun havers like us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all we do is have fun out there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So, Bagger Racing League 2024, nothing but sweet, nasty speed.
Nothing but a good time for sure, as we've got the riders getting ready to get lined up to go out on their warm-up lap. Like we said, going to be seeing the biggest names in Bagger Racing League. We're going to have the likes of Ruben Zaus, Sam Guerin going to be out there, Jesse Janish, of course, as well, who we heard from just a few minutes ago. Tony Salima going to be out there rocking Clay's bike, going to be making sure that thing's looking fast and looking good out there as well. And we're going to go ahead and start running through the list here. Let's start at the top in our Andrews Products Bagger GP class. Like we said, Sam Guerin on the 418 coming all the way from Canada. He's on that original Garage Moto sponsored by Bridgestone and Bremont Harley Davidson as well. Who we got backing up Jesse Janish?
Sorry, Jesse Janis, on the 32 out of Florida on that Sly Fox Suburban Harley Davidson, the Sly Glide as they call it. Obviously Sly Fox Suburban, Bridgestone giving them a lot of help. So, yeah.
Going to be exciting to see what Jesse's able to do this weekend. Ruben Zaus, he's on that 111 machine. He's coming out of Spain. And, of course, Fueling Golev team really backing him up. And we heard in that interview just how excited they are to be here with us in 2024.
Yeah, and one rider we're not going to see on the grid, Oleg, he had a little mishap this morning in practice. Those guys, I just peeked out the window. They're out there, with their heads down, tools out, trying to get the bike ready for tomorrow. So good luck to those guys and getting back out tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Oleg, unfortunately, having some bad luck early in the day. But like you said, the team's not giving up yet. We got 2 days of racing action, so they're hard at work to try to get him back out and on the grid here for tomorrow. Now let's move over to the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. We've got Craig Braymiller, who we've already seen out on course at one point today, coming from New York. He's on that A-Plus Performance machine, sponsored by A-Plus Performance Cycles, Geezer Engineering, and Noon Incorporated.
Yeah, we got Tyler Elliott on the 501 out of Kansas, the ODB Racing Team, Geezer Engineering, Werner's House of Horsepower, Twister City Harley Davidson helping him get out to the racetrack.
Next up, we've got the rider going 1-1 at rounds 1 and 2. Cody Gilmore on the 371. He's coming out of Texas on that Suburban Motors Harley Davidson Bridgestone back machine. And, of course, Sly Fox helping out his program as well. Cody looking to pick up right where he left off here this weekend.
Yeah, we also got Joe Sanderson on the 101 out of Ohio, Phantom Racing, straight shooter custom cycles, Revolution Performance, DP brakes helping him get stopped in them corners.
Tony Salima on that FDR Youngblood Crew back machine, sponsored by Alloy Art FDR Foundation, and, of course, Quade Harley as well. And we've got Youngblood himself here in the studio. You looking for big things out of Salima?
I mean, we're here. We're partying on Harleys. So, I mean, we made it. It's nothing but good, clean family fun. So, I mean, as long as we start the race, finish the race, and we can pack it up for tomorrow's race as well, that's all I can ask for.
Going to be good to see for sure. Can't forget about the number 69, Arnie Wells, coming out of Idaho on that Suburban Motors backed machine. He's got Good Soda, Bridgestone, and Bassani exhaust in his corner as well.
We also got Eric Reyes out there on the 187 out of California. He's also running with the FDR team. He's got some special sponsors, the All-American Riders. They're a nonprofit organization. They're veterans helping veterans. So hats off to those guys, Black Widow Creations and Law Tigers helping him get out to the races.
So there we go. That is your full lineup for both your Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger and your Andrews Products Bagger GP class. And just in time, because the green flag getting ready to go up in the air, and we are getting ready to go racing here at Gingerman. And look at that. What a start from Ruben Zaus.
Ruben, he's going to be first into turn one, but Sam hot on his tail. I want to see a battle here between Ruben and Sam. Looks like we got Arnie holding down that third place position. Jesse Janis and, it was Cody, Jesse, and then Arnie on the Suburban bikes there holding down 3, 4, and 5.
Let's see what Sam Guerin's able to do. Wasn't quite able to get up in the mix and really show a wheel to Ruben Zaus. Looks like he's trying to make a drive to do just that now.
Yeah, these two are going to check out. Obviously, they got the speed, in the GP class here. Jesse needs to get up there as one of the other GP class riders and mix it up with these two. Jesse, they've had some troubles with that bike they've been working on. Really, these are some of the first laps that Jesse's seeing. So he's going to try and make the best of a bad situation out there today. And, it looks like Cody's holding down third, and Arnie rounding out the top 5 still.
Yeah, so Cody Gilmore, their third physically on track, should be leading the way in that Pirelli Pro Stock bagger class. But look at this, the 2-rider breakaway. Exactly what we were hoping to see. Sam Guerin applying the pressure to Ruben Zaus early.
Yeah, I was just curious, Clay, first lap, what's going through your mind in lap number 1?
Honestly, it's just I think it's kind of get all the mulligans out of the way, and you got to ride your own race and your own pace. But usually what happens in that first kind of lap, you either get stuck behind someone or you end up messing with someone, and it kind of costs you a second every lap or so on. So sometimes like this, you have Ruben and Sam out there just yanking on them because they're running their own pace, and obviously they're fast guys. Like Ruben just, you can see him on the track, and he just looks like he's speaking to the machine, as you see right here coming out of the straightaway.
For sure, yeah. I mean, these guys are making it look easy. I mean, obviously
foot out, classic.
Yeah, that's classic World Superbike moves there from Ruben. It's fun to watch these guys, and these guys are making it look easy, but guys like Ruben and Sam are both accomplished racers, and they're doing their job. You get out front and get that clean air and just charge forward. So
exactly. I was actually able to talk to Ruben today, and this morning when it was a little bit wet, and we have better conditions now. But there's a lot more, once again, the foot out, but there's a lot more that goes into this racing, especially with these big machines, talking about hearing the bike, body positioning, just there's a lot that goes into it, and Ruben is showing it right now as he's breaking away from Sam.
Yeah.
Taking a look now, I just looked out the window. We've got a battle royale going on for the third place spot. I wasn't quite able to see exactly who the rider was, but headed into turn 1, you saw them, they're hitting their full lock up on the brakes. They downshifted, and that back end was absolutely dancing all over the place. Let's see if we can get a read. There goes Sam Guerin in the second place spot. It is Cody Gilmore
and Jesse
Janis.
And
Jesse,
yeah.
Okay, so Jesse was pushing the pace hard coming into turn 1, had that back end dancing all over the place. You said he needed to get up there. He's trying to take your advice and do it.
Yeah, like I said, Jesse, they've been dealing with some mechanicals all weekend, and these are some of his first laps. And Jesse is, he's won AFT championships. He's a racer at heart. And look at him just backing it in there, making it.
That was smooth.
Yeah, that was a nice pass. That was a beautiful pass, just out-breaking Cody Gilmore into turn 1. And
hey, but that's Jesse's style, man.
Sure.
Jesse's a flat track guy. He knows how to move a bike, and oh, there you go, shaking while went out the corner, dude. That's 100% on the gas, man. I love to see it.
And I think it's cool to see, too. Obviously, Ruben, very calculated, methodical, doesn't even look like he's riding that hard. And then you see the like of Jesse Janis picking the front wheel up. The back end's dancing all over the place. These guys are fighting hard to try to get up towards the top.
Yeah, I think it's good to see that front wheel coming up in the air. That means they've got the thing figured out. Obviously, they're getting the power to the ground.
For sure.
Hats off to that team. They've worked really hard to get that bike. They had some turbo issues and had to have parts overnighted, and hustling to get the bike ready for today's race. So it's good to see it working well, getting the front end in the air and charging forward.
And I tell you what was also impressive to see, maybe he was hiding it, maybe I just never picked up on it, but Jesse never even seemed concerned. Absolute belief in his team, knew the parts were going to come in on time, knew what he needed to do once it got put together. The green flag dropped. Doesn't seem like he's second-guessing anything. He's got that thing wide open, and now he moves himself into third physically on track and third in that Andrew Products Bagger GP class. The real beneficiary of this right now, all by his lonesome out front in the Pro Stock class, is Cody Gilmore. Absolutely walking away from the rest of the field, kind of sinking hooks in those top GP riders and able to let them carry him towards the front.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. He's taking notes. He's chasing down these GP guys and kind of walking away from the Pro Stock guys right now. Cody has really positioned himself on another level right now, and he looks so good on track. I know that Arnie wants to really get up there and challenge it with Cody, but Cody is really he just looks like he's just on that him and that motorcycle are just jiving and working together.
And it's kind of hard to recreate that with just anyone, So Suburban Harley Davidson has been put a good motorcycle under Cody, and it's been nothing but good for him, and I'm really stoked for him and Suburban.
Yeah, they've found the right combination with those two.
Because he was ripping the Sportsters before.
Yeah, this is his first season on the bagger. Last year he was riding, the XR 1200 in the lightweight twins class, and so yeah, he hopped on this bagger, and it just came natural right away.
I looking at the race right now. Looks like he's been racing for 3 years since it started.
Yeah.
With you,
Yeah,
day one.
back in the early days, right?
Yeah.
So enjoying watching the top of the field make their way through. A little bit of space now starting to get between all of them as Ruben Zaus is trying to bring things home and make it a quick race at the front of the field. The 111, the Spaniard, talking about taking Bagger Racing League across the globe next year, actively not only wanting to be a part of the racing action, but wants to help the sport and the series itself grow. And there you can see he's not just throwing the leg out, he's stopping that thing with his own feet if he's got to.
Yeah, I know, Ruben makes it look easy. He makes it look like he's kind of going slow, but trust me, he is on it out there, laying down some respectable lap times, out front. Guys like Ruben are great ambassadors of the sport. They're great people to have involved and grow the sport, not only here in the States, but, internationally. And it's cool to see and be a part of it.
So it looks like we got the halfway through the race. We got Ruben Zaus, Sam Guerin, and Cody Gilmore, top three right now. Just looking out the window, hearing all these beautiful bikes pass through. It's a beautiful place to be, and couldn't ask for a better place,
Yeah, this is a great weekend of racing. Now the sun decides to pop through. All right, it waited for the main event to make a nice, shiny sunlit sky for us as we're watching Gilmore not letting Janice run away with him. We saw the pass get made, but he is not letting Jesse ride off into the sunset. He's maintained about that 1.5 to 2 second gap for the last lap or two.
You know what I'm noticing on screen here is, sitting in third place is actually Jesse Janice, but it's not showing timing and scoring, and I'm hoping that it means that their timing and scoring device is malfunctioned. They haven't had a chance to test it yet this weekend. It'll be unfortunate because the timing and scoring is what it is, and they'll have to have a conversation after the race. But Jesse's sitting out there in third place, even though you're not seeing him on the screen right now.
So riders making their way through, really getting to open those machines up down that back stretch. Ruben seems like a very intelligent rider in the sense of you see him taking little glances around. He likes to seem to know where the other bikes or other riders are. So he knows exactly how much he needs to push. And you see, after he gets whatever that magic number is in his head, he gets out far enough, he just starts managing, not really pushing the pace.
Yeah, and that's just, a testament to his racecraft. He'll know, they talk about managing your lead. And Ruben will know that if he's got a certain amount of lead, he can kind of just ride a pace that's comfortable. He doesn't need to push the limits and just manage that lead. But that takes a lot of time and a lot of skills to develop that over time, of being able to kind of stay focused on your lines and your braking points, but also manage the gap to the guy behind you. And Ruben does this all, like it's, walking.
Absolutely.
It's just nothing to him. So, but that just comes from a lot of time and skill on a motorcycle.
Taking a look outside of the Tucker Speed studio here, I am seeing Sam Guerin still holding down that second place spot, but it looks like both Jesse Janish and Cody Gilmore are starting to close the gap up to him a little bit as they get ready to head. Looks like it'll be headed towards turn 11 as we see there's your leader. If we can hold that camera shot, we'll wait to see. Should see Sam coming over the hill here in just a minute. And it looks like he has got Janish and Gilmore hot on his heels as well. So Sam kind of in no man's land right now. You see him, but they're right behind him once again. Just
Jesse.
Got that Jesse's got that back end sliding all over the place. He is pushing it for all it's worth.
I love to see it, and coming from a flat track background, Jesse's not afraid to get that bike sideways, but he is pushing the limit. Obviously, if he's getting that bike sideways like that, he is pushing hard. He wants to charge for it. And we're seeing Jesse Janice's name up on the screen now, so hopefully that means his transponder is working and he's being timed and scored properly. So he is inching forward towards Sam. So if he's got to go now, we're going to be running out of laps here. We haven't quite seen the white flag yet, but we are nearing the end. So Jesse's got to charge hard right now.
And he's trying to do just that. Cody Gilmore hanging on, trying to tow along with him. Now, Cody obviously leading the way in that Pirelli Pro Stock bagger class, so doesn't have to get up into the mix and slice and dice with these guys, but obviously if you see a rider in front of you, you want to pass him. That's just the racer's code, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in what class. If you're out there, the guy in front of you, whether he's Bagger GP or not, you want to get around him, right, Clay? This dude is passing Bagger GP guys. I've seen it firsthand, and he ain't afraid to make passes.
I'm not afraid to crash either. I mean, it's a bad thing, but going back on what the boys were saying about Ruben, the whole mental thing and playing offense and defense, that's a real thing. And obviously it's stuff I'm working on and continuously working on. There we go with the foot out again, Ruben, killing it.
So we saw the white flag flying. So last lap here, Ruben, starting to make his way up through lap traffic here. We see Sam not too far off of Ruben there, but Ruben's just kind of managing that lead, playing it smart. He doesn't need to win by 3 minutes. So,
watching as second and third make their way through the finish line here, things are still, I feel like, tightening up between Sam Guerin and Jesse Janisch. But the question is, will Jesse have enough time here on the final lap? Might need a mistake from Guerin.
And I don't think Guerin's going to make any mistakes. He rides back in his hometown. He rides a whole bunch of street bikes and a whole bunch of other different things. So he's pretty in tune with himself.
Well, and Sam also looking to kind of respond after that opening weekend. He had some mishaps, had some mechanical issues, didn't really get to show exactly what he was capable of, even though he did come across the line and finish second on the weekend. So he's got a point to prove as well. Says, hey, I don't care whether Jesse was out there or not. I am the number 2 guy. So right now, Ruben Zaus, you're seeing on screen the 111 trying to bring things home and grab the first win of the weekend for your Andrews Products Bagger GP class. Going to be making his way, I believe that's Craig Braymiller. He'll be making his way around. Craig finished on the podium in one of our earlier classes, so it just goes to show how fast Ruben is going through that final corner. And here it is, folks. It will be Ruben Zaus continuing the streak and grabbing the win here for round 3 in the Andrews Products Bagger GP class. We'll flip back to the finish line to see whether or not it is Cody Gilmore taking the win in the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. You see Ruben pumped up, celebrating. There goes Sam Guerin. He just came across the line, finishing second. Jesse going to round out the podium in your Andrew Products Bagger GP class, and it does look like it will be Cody Gilmore grabbing the win in your Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. So the riders going to make their way around, do a nice little cool-off, and then after that, we will kick off the podium celebration. So Tony Tucker going to leave me here in the Tucker Speed studio, and he's going to get ready to go chat it up. But before that, we got to talk about how this race went down. Ruben Zaus hit the ground running right from the green flag and grabbed the early race lead. Sam Guerin, though, said, hang on, Ruben. I'm not going to let you have this one easily. He funnels into that second place spot. Cody Gilmore holds on to third with Jesse Janisch fourth around the first turn, with Arnie Wells rounding out the top 5. And almost immediately you saw the separation between those top 2. As Ruben Zaus really pushing the pace in those opening laps, and Sam Guerin honestly able to match that opening lap pace pretty well.
Yeah, I thought there for a little while Sam was really kind of pushing and charging. I saw him looking under, inside, outside. I thought he was going to maybe try and make a pass a few times there. As you can see here, he's like just on the back tire. You see him kind of looking for lines. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer of a battle. Hats off to Sam, kind of hanging on to Ruben there for a few laps.
And Sam would continue to put in a great fight, and he would have to fight for that second place spot all the way through the finish. You see him still chasing after Zaus here on the RacerTV.com replay. Behind him, the battle was on between Jesse Janisch and Cody Gilmore. They may not be in the same class, but they were battling for the third place position on track. You can see how hard the riders were pushing the machines, getting acceleration wobbles. They've got the back end kicking out from under them, getting slideways, as I like to say, heading into some of these corners. There you see the front end getting lifted up on Jesse's machine, and Jesse was able to make the pass around Cody Gilmore and slide into the third place physical on track, as well as third place in that Bagger GP class. And then Cody Gilmore, Clay, talk about a rider with a tip-top shape performance and grabbing a win the way you want to do it. It's hard to beat it like that.
It's crazy. Hats off to Cody, man. Especially for his first season in the Bagger class to come out here and do this. to be able to battle with Jesse like that. I mean, I like to say it's because they're teammates, and teammates have the best rivalries and want to see each other do good, but it was all Cody and Suburban Harley Davidson for supplying that bike. So hats off to the team for that, and congratulations.
Yeah, without a doubt, not only do the riders grab the win, but their whole team celebrates along with them. And it's easy to see why they put their trust in Cody Gilmore, as he seems right at home on that bagger in the Pro Stock class. Here we're watching Ruben close out the win. And like Tony was talking about earlier, this guy gets the gap that he wants. Obviously, he's got the team giving him a pit board, giving him information, let him know exactly how far out front he is, what he needs to do. And at this point, they were pretty much telling him, don't make a mistake, bring this thing home, don't forget to wave to the fans, because there it is, the checker flag coming out, and Ruben Zaus grabbing your Andrews Products Bagger GP win here for day 1, round 3 of the 2024 season. And can't wait to catch up with Ruben and the rest of our podium finishers here in just a minute. Tony Tucker getting ready to head down and chat it up with him. Like I said at the top of the show, guys, so we will be kicking off the podium celebrations with the last race that just came off the track. So we'll get to hear from our Andrews Products Bagger GP class first. Then we'll chat it up with the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger. Then we will run back through the entire racing order, starting with race 1, and head down the list from there. So we'll know, get to chat it up with the riders that got the job done. Clay, you know as well as I do, it's one thing to speculate and talk here from the Tucker Speed studio, but it's a whole nother ball game when you've got the helmet on and you're getting the job done yourself.
100%, but it's cool that I'm up here. I get to see both sides of it, so I would say like I'm well adversed, you know.
Hey, absolutely, yeah. And while we're waiting to talk about it, let's talk a little bit about the recovery. Like you said, both of us a little banged up here. Yours probably a little cooler of a story than mine, but nonetheless, talk about exactly what happened as much as you want to, of course,
of course.
and then how that recovery is coming. I know it's hard. Sometimes what you feel you're capable of doing, the doctors tell you aren't the best ideas for you. So where are you at with all of that?
So I'm kind of listening to my body. Pain is bliss. So everything that I've been trying to do, if I feel pain, it's good. And, you know, I'm just trying to push through everything I possibly can do just to get back on the bike, man, and be around all my friends out here. It's crazy what this atmosphere brings. I'm just saying Bagger Racing League. I don't really know another organization where you can kind of come this close together and be so tight-knit and help someone out, but also try to beat them at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen that firsthand. Even earlier today, we had some riders going down, and other team members, they're the first ones to volunteer parts, volunteer assistance as far as helping put the bike back together. While it's a racing league, it really is a family out here.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, my accident, man, all the crazy, stupid stuff I do, you know, going 100 plus on a Harley Davidson bagger for racing. You know, I was doing a house call. I'm a barber, doing a house call, and coming home, I just got pulled out in front of on a double yellow and had nowhere to go. Smacked the side of it, flew 50 feet, and just have all kinds of things. I have 2 plates, 12 screws. Had some tendon repair on my right hand, 3 broken bones on my foot, a broken rib. I mean, I'm complaining, you know, but it could have been worse, could have been better, whatever. I'm happy I'm here, and I'm really hoping I'll be at Willow, you know, representing FDR and Youngblood.
Hey, absolutely. And one thing, obviously, this is our first time getting to really meet and talk with one another, but one of the things that everybody has said, even since round 1, is just your positivity. You're a guy that you don't reflect on the negatives. You don't let that manifest. You really like to focus on the positives. So I think that mindset pays off for sure.
I would like to think so, because, I mean, it's either love or hate, and you kind of got to choose one of them. You know, there's no in between, and all the love that I've given out, I've been getting back, and I couldn't ask for a more better friend group and organization to be doing stuff with.
Hey, absolutely, man. Well, we're excited to have you in the booth. You'll be with us tomorrow as well, right?
Yes, sir. Sweet Nasty Speed.
Perfect. I like it. Don't go anywhere, and I'll have to catch up with you after we finish going live. I got to get the hair trimmed up, man. You got to get me set up right. So
I can do this.
Excited to have Youngblood here in the studio with us, and as you can see, we're getting the podium set up. Going to be chatting it up with the Bagger GP class first, and it looks like we've got Tony Tucker down at the podium with your Andrews Products Bagger GP podium.
All right.
Put your hands together for our Andrews Products Bagger GP class as I get these mics situated here. Let's bring in these trophies. Jesse Janis, third place. Congratulations.
Good to see you. Good to be back.
Jesse, walk us through your weekend. I know you guys have been struggling here with some mechanicals and bike issues. You were putting down some of your first laps of the weekend out there. Tell us how it went.
Yeah, the race was interesting, right? Didn't get a whole lot of laps before that, so just trying to learn really quick on all the changes we've made to the motorcycle since rounds 1 and 2. And luckily, I've ridden here before. It's been about 20 years, so I at least knew the layout, so that was obviously a huge benefit, but it was just trying to get laps in and try to learn the motorcycle. So it was a good race. A little off of these guys, but we'll try to make some corrections to the old slide glide and come back tomorrow a little stronger.
Right on. I know you guys worked hard. Do you want to give a thanks to any of your sponsors out here?
Yeah, absolutely. The Sly Fox guys killing it with the bike, Suburban, those guys working all weekend. Ben working on our electronics, just everybody a part of the program. I love it. Bridgestones were working awesome out there. And yeah, just appreciate everybody, and we'll come back stronger tomorrow.
Right on. Put your hands together for Jesse Janis. All right, our second place finisher, Sam Guerin, the OG Moto. Beautiful looking motorcycle. We got your second place trophy coming around over here. Sam, I thought you were going to be up there challenging. It looks like you wanted to make a few passes early on. Walk us through your race there.
Yes, exact. I was going for it, but I had a little problem with the transmission. So a couple of shifts between fourth and third, I got into like a kind of neutral. So then when you pick up the other gear, it's either the second or the fourth. So it's not the good one. So I lost a lot of time in one particular lap that it happened like 2 times. So then I got used to using a little bit less of rear brake, and the gears were getting better, but I couldn't catch up. Ruben was all so. Yeah, it's a good race. I'm happy to finish second. It's good for the championship. So I'd like to thank all the team from Original Garage, Premo, Harley Davidson, Revolution Performance, Bridgestone, Legend Suspension, Speed and Strength, and Silver Wax. Thank you all the fans, and see you tomorrow.
Right on. We got your Andrews Performance Products hat here and your trophy. Put your hands together for Sam Guerin. All right. Our top podium finisher, Ruben Zaus, the fueling red motorcycle here. Ruben, you make it look easy. Walk us through your race.
Well, now when I hear them having problems, I say myself, okay, and I'm not the only one, because I'm used to racing them, top level motorbikes a long time ago. Now I'm an old man, and coming back racing, I thought everything needs to be ready so quick and so perfect, and it's not. I mean, those bikes, the Harleys, the Baggers, got some issues, and we need to survive with them. And yesterday we got also a gearbox problem. Mechanics did a really good job. I needed some more track time because the weather, the cold conditions, and the wet, and not knowing the track. The track is very nice, but it's a particular track. You cannot have the point of views. You need to trust and believe in your gas control and your leaning angle and your setup more than just focus on the views, and this is not easy. I mean, come here for the first time and just be able to race. That's why every time I go into the track, I can go faster and faster. And as well, we develop things on the setup that allowed us to test, because for us, it's a new year, new bike. We have no data. We are building everything ourselves and trying to build one of the best baggers out there.
Yeah. Who do you need to give thanks to on the weekend?
No, I need to thank everybody, as I do every day. I always go and visit my people, my partners into the race, on the factories to thank them for the support. I mean, I've got Feldium Parts, Saddleman, Alloy Yard. I've got a Brembo, All-ins, STM clutches that are working very well step by step, and I've got everybody supporting me. And this is the best, I can give back this in the racetrack. When I ride constantly and fluently and fast, that means that everyone is behind me. It's doing a job.
Well, everybody put your hands together for Ruben Zaus. We got your #1 trophy here. Next up, we'll have our Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger Podium coming up in just a minute. Everybody put your hands together for our podium finishers here on the Andrews Products Bagger GP class.
All right, a great job there from Tony Tucker catching up with your top three. You can see all the fans, everybody wanting to hang out and get a shot of their favorite rider, certainly having to do work to earn that podium spot. And we're going to get to chat it up with the second class that was out there in that last race, the Pro Stock Bagger class. We know it was Cody Gilmore grabbing the win. I believe Arnie Wells was finishing second. And so we'll wait to see exactly who's going to be that final spot on the podium, as we had a lot of great racing action out on track there for that final race. You can see the mechanics and the crews there getting the bikes moved out of the way. A whole lot harder than picking up a dirt bike or any of those off-road machines that you see at some of the other races. And so it takes them a minute to get the bikes put on and pulled off. But we'll have the Pro Stock Bagger coming up here in just a moment from beautiful Gingerman Raceway. Like we said, folks, I know we got a lot of people watching live on Racer TV. First of all, welcome to the world of Bagger Racing League and the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. This is round 3 today, coming to a close. Look at that, Rob Bitus flashing the smile. You know he's got to get the shot, and we will be racing round number 4 tomorrow. It's a doubleheader weekend, so we'll be back with all of the racing action you saw today. Maybe even a little more. You never know what's in store for the Sunday mornings and Sunday afternoons on Racer TV. And we're very excited to have the partnership between the Bagger Racing League and Racer TV. Obviously, Zach Herron here in the Tucker Speed studio. Just got finished up over at Snowshoe GNCC last weekend out in West Virginia. Having a great time watching Johnny Gerard grabbed the win out of that XC1 class. Bryson Neal handling business out of the ATV class as well. And that's right, folks. It's Racer TV, so I can talk about all of it. And we're talking. They were all like, "Oh, we're ready for summer break. What are you guys doing?" "Oh, I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the beach." I said, "I'm going to Gingerman Raceway for the next rounds of the Bagger Racing League." So we hope to have a lot of the GNCC Racing Nation online watching with us. We hope you guys are enjoying a little different sight and a little different sound, a little different scene than what you get a lot of times on Racer TV. You guys have talked a lot about the mud that we have in GNCC Racing. No mud here in Bagger Racing League, but was raining a little earlier yesterday, and riders still out there getting the job done. So awesome to see what the different kind of adversity and different kinds of obstacles that these riders overcome here in the BRL. And then, of course, all of you amateur moto riders out there getting ready for the Loretta Lynn's Amateur National at the end of the month, which will also be live streamed right here on Racer TV. Excited to be back calling the best amateurs in the country, arguably in the world, out at the Coal Miners' Daughters Ranch. And going to be exciting to see who's going to be taking home number 1 plates there in that. But right now, we've still got podium celebrations in all of our classes that we have not heard from yet coming up. Like we said, the podiums all getting done at the end of the day here in the Bagger Racing League. That way we can run through all of the classes, make sure, like we said, we've got some riders running back-to-back in different classes, so we let them go out there, do what they need to do on track, and then we get the off-track celebrations kicked off right after that. So looks like we've got the bikes almost totally put up on the stands. I'm telling you what, last month at rounds 1 and 2, I got to really check these things out up close, and it is truly impressive to see how much work, how much time and effort goes into each one of these machines, and it truly is a team effort. The riders, they go out and do their part, but it takes a lot of other people doing their part beforehand to be able to have a factory-level running machine and a machine that is able to push the limits like these riders do each and every lap. So very exciting to not only get to see the riders and get to hear from them, but get to hear from the teams and what they're doing in order to help their bike make it to the podium. So sounds like we are just about ready to go here for the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. We're going to turn things down to our man on the podium, Tony Tucker.
All right, we're going to figure out these mics here sooner or later.
We'll figure it out. All right. Everybody, put your hands together. Make some noise here for your Pirelli Tires Pro Stock Bagger class podium finishers. Our third place finisher, Tony Salima. We were fortunate enough to have Clay up in the booth. He's got your trophy here.
What you guys are doing here is a special thing. Walk us through your race, Tony.
Oh, we had a rough couple days. Past couple of days were pretty rough. We got out there today and we just did it. We did as much as we could, and we shaved off a few seconds. The track was great. The weather was great. We really loved it. So really happy with it today. Really got to give Clay a shout out. Youngblood Racing, FDR. We couldn't be out here without these guys. We got Lexan. We got Lifestyle Cycles. Got Quaid Harley Davidson. So many sponsors. Saddlemen, everybody. Thank you so much. We couldn't be out here doing it without everybody. Pirelli, thank you for sponsoring this race. We love you guys, and freaking awesome, dude.
Right on. Congratulations, Tony Salima. Make some noise for your third place finisher. All right, guys, our second place finisher here, Arnie Wells. Arnie, you guys, you got off to a good start. Walk us through your race.
So I did get a better start than I have been in the recent races, and got behind Cody and Jesse, and I just tried to hang with them as much as I could, see where I could step up my speeds and carry through the corners, and that helped until they got a little too far, and then I couldn't see them, and I probably fell back a little bit more. Nobody pushed me, as far as I couldn't see somebody, So just ran my race, and I tried holding it together, and
Right on. I know you got a great team over there. Who do you need to give a shout out to?
Suburban Motor, Harley Davidson, Jolly Good Soda, Sly Fox, Legend Suspension, Performance Machine, Bridgestone, Alloy Art, Trask, Wayne's Drive-In, and there's many more, Bison Leathers, LS2 helmets. I want to thank all of my family for always coming out.
Right on, everybody. Make some noise. Arnie Wells, your second place finisher. All right, everybody. Make some noise here. Our top finisher, Cody Gilmore. Cody, you guys, you looked like you were trying to maybe hunt down some of those GP guys. You were running really good. How are you feeling out there today?
Yeah, I was feeling really good out there. I was having a good time, and I was trying to run with them guys, but they're just a tick a little bit better than me. So I just want to keep learning this year and try to learn their lines and that type of thing, and hopefully one of these days get up there and run with them a little bit more. So I kind of fell back the first few laps. I wasn't putting in the smoothest laps and kind of messing up a few corners. So if I can smooth that out, maybe go back to the hotel tonight and watch them guys on TV, on YouTube, and see if I can learn a few things, because I couldn't quite keep up with them enough to kind of learn what I wanted to. So that was pretty cool, but man, it's just fun and awesome being out here, coming here every weekend or on the weekends, and having a big family like Arnie and all of our teammates back at the Suburban Motors crew. It's just a good time to be here. So I just want to thank everyone for coming out, and Bridgestone, Suburban, Sly Fox, LS2 helmets, Legend Suspension, just everyone that got us here. I really appreciate it. So thanks to everyone, and man, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Right on. Let's make some noise for your top three in the Pirelli Pro Stock Bagger class. Next up, we're going to have a podium celebration for the Next Gen Superbike class.
So there we go. We heard from Cody and the rest of your Pro Stock Bagger class. There we go. Got to get the shot. Got to get the Insta Bangers. And Cody, when you go back online to study whatever it is that you're looking to find out, make sure you're going over to Racer TV on YouTube, as we've got the big partnership announced, I believe it was just last week, where Bagger Racing League for the foreseeable future going to be getting broadcasted on Racer TV, bringing in a lot of our motorsport enthusiast audiences, whether it's off-road, whether it's motocross, or now whether it's Bagger Racing League fans, all one location where they can see all the racing action their heart desires. And we're excited to have that partnership kick off right here at Gingerman Raceway, as just like Tony was saying, going to get ready for the next generation Superbike class. That was your first race of the day. So the race that kicked off the program for us is going to be next up on the podium. Going to get to chat it up with those riders, hear about exactly how their day went. Like we said, several of these riders in multiple classes, so you may see some still in the leathers. Some might have already, who knows, taken a shower. They got a beautiful shower house here at Gingerman and gotten cleaned up and looking in tip-top shape for their interview with Tony. But for right now, like I said a little bit earlier, guys, so many people, whether it's at GNCCs, whether it's BRL, they ask, when I'm watching at home, is there anything that I can do to help you guys at all? Is there anything that I can do to help make a difference for Racer TV? And the answer is yes. It's very simple. You don't need to spend any money. You don't need to get up and do anything. All you got to do is, if you're watching right now, if you got that thing on full screen, take it off of full screen and make sure right beside Racer TV there's a subscribe button. Make sure you've clicked on that. If you've subscribed with us, that is all that we need you to do. If you want to leave us a nice comment on the live chat, let us know that you're enjoying the coverage. If you have constructive criticism, we're more than welcome to take that as well. Please remember that I do have feelings and I cry easily. I'm just kidding. But nonetheless, if you have criticism, guys, we're all about it. But nonetheless, this is hands down some of the best racing coverage you can ask for. Of course, AG Video doing a great job of providing us with camera ops and making sure that everything is running in tip-top shape throughout the day, and making sure that we're able to give a high-quality video and a high-quality performance here for Racer TV. And excited to have the entire crowd that comes along with Racer TV and all of the subscribers and all of the people that tune over on a regular basis with them to get to experience what the Bagger Racing League is all about. And so we hope you guys are enjoying coverage here from day one. Like we said, going to be doing this all over again tomorrow. And if you think that it's just going to be the same song and dance tomorrow, you're wrong. I'm telling you what, we saw it out in Nebraska. Day 2 had a lot of surprises compared to day number 1. Several new riders making notes, figuring out exactly what they needed to fix. Other riders getting ready to make some corrections and try to see if they can get on the top step of the podium. So sounds like we are ready with the next generation Superbike class down on the podium.
All right, put your hands together. We have a special award going here to Matt Loren on this beautiful Buell motorcycle. Matt, we didn't really have a class for you to fit in. You ran out there with a couple of the classes. You looked really fast. Tell us how your race went and tell us about this motorcycle.
Yeah, the race didn't start off too well for me. I accidentally had it in second. I knew I had the pace and I wanted to be considerate to the other racers, so I made clean passes, and then once I got my legs out, I just kind of stretched them. So it was fun. I'll know for next time. But yeah, so Buell's back and we have some pretty exciting stuff coming out. The Super Cruiser's coming out. We're shooting for around 470 pounds with about 175 horsepower. So it'll be a pretty exciting bike. We're shooting for sub 25, so it'll be the bike to beat once it comes out.
Well, it's an impressive motorcycle. I mean, Matt, you're out here racing at Buell. You're working at Buell. You're engineering part of this motorcycle. I mean, what's that feeling out there on the track, and it performing so well and knowing that you're a part of the team?
Yeah, so we're just a bunch of really passionate people, and it takes passion to stay up all night putting the bike together, work all day, stay up all night, put it together, break it, and then do it all over again.
Right on. Well, we have a trophy here. Matt, like I said, we didn't have a class for this motorcycle. I hope that the BRL and the powers that be will make a class and we see more of this motorcycle out on the track in the future. But everybody make some noise here for Matt and the Buell motorcycle. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so great stuff down on the podium, getting to chat it up with Tony Tucker, getting all of the scoop. And, yeah, sounds like there's some big things to come here for the coming future of both Buell and, of course, the BRL as well. So as we can see, getting the riders stacked up and getting ready for the podium for that next generation Superbike awards class. And looks like they're just about totally set up. I see Arch York there getting that KTM put up on the street stand. Used to seeing those things up on a dirt bike stand. Looks like it's going to work though. And sounds like we've got Tony Tucker down at the podium ready.
All right, everybody, put your hands together for our next-gen Superbike finishers here. Awesome race out there. Scott Short. Sorry, I got to be a juggler here to hold these mics. So awesome race out there. Walk us through the race.
I was hoping I could hold on to that P1 position. I was doing this class as a bump up to get more laps here. I don't have a whole lot of laps here. Super fun race. Everybody, we were all in each other's heads, so it made it a lot of fun. Like who's doing what, what bike's doing what. So super fun race.
Right on. I know you guys have an awesome team. Who do you need to thank?
Motorcycle Supply. Got him to thank, and some sweet T-shirts. Rob, you're the man. Got a little special BRL logo for you. But yeah, Stall 5 and Track Addicts. Good seeing you guys. I'm glad you're riding.
Right on. Everybody make some noise for Scott Shore, our third place finisher. All right, second place, Arch York, the Supermoto, my favorite. I love seeing this thing out on the track, man. It's awesome to see. Arch, I saw you diving inside, outside. It looked like you could put that motorcycle wherever you wanted to. Walk us through your race.
Oh, it was a blast. It was a whole battle the entire time. Awesome start. I jumped it a little bit. I didn't jump the start, but I got a little wheelie and rolled off. As kind of made a fool of myself at the beginning there. Got back on it. Got passed by that EVR. That thing was awesome. So whoever's bike that is, that's an awesome bike. Had a really good battle with this guy right here. Back and forth. Thought I had him. Got caught up in lap traffic a little bit, but it's on me to make a good pass. He made a better pass and got me on the last lap and had an absolute blast out there.
Right on. I know you got some super cool sponsors. Who do you need to thank?
Absolutely. The first things first, not even sponsors. I like to thank my parents. I always got to remember to thank my parents. Awesome. I wouldn't be here without them. Also like to thank Bagger Racing League. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having us out here. I know we're a metric class, but trying to grow that racing sport in America, and I really appreciate you guys welcoming us in here with open arms. Also like to thank Underground Team Racing and our sponsors, Missouri 811, Kansas 811, Nebraska 811. Make sure you click or call before you dig. Last one I'd like to make is to the Marine Corps. I wouldn't be where I'm at without the Marine Corps. It was awesome. I love my guys out there. I appreciate all y'all. And also, last but not least, Cycle Gear. I appreciate you guys, all my staff members out there. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching and staying tuned. Appreciate it.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together for Arch York and the Marine Corps, right? Thank you. All right, everybody. Our top spot finisher, Jamie Hansen. Jamie, hard-fought battles out there, but walk us through it.
My sponsor don't have, he got flooded out in South Dakota, so I didn't have my bike that I'd normally have for this class or whatever, so I definitely had to work a little bit harder for it with him. That was a great battle. That's my favorite part of racing. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, on screen, and I know just from being out on the track, those are the best times. I mean, I know you have an awesome team. Who do you need to thank today?
LM2 Racing, Trackside Labs, A Affordable Bail Bonds up in Brainerd, Minnesota, DP Brakes, everyone else that helped me out, and then most importantly, my road partner and pitman, Dad.
Right on. Well, he's got a #1 trophy. Hold that thing up high, and everybody put your hands together for our top 3 finishers here in the next-gen Superbike class. Next up, we'll have a podium celebration for our Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class coming up soon.
So there it is, the celebrations continuing down on the podium. Tony doing a great job getting all of the scoop from the riders that find themselves up inside the top 3 in their class. And like you heard, a lot of different obstacles, riders coming from all over the country. We've had some heat waves in some areas. We've had some wet weather in others, and sounds like over in the Dakotas, the sponsor of that rider having some issues getting the bike to the track, but nonetheless, they persevere. They still come out. They still want to race, and he said, whether I got to work harder or not, I'm still going after that #1 spot, and he was able to get the job done. So great stuff there out of the next generation Superbike class. And like we heard from Arch and from all of these riders, they're excited to be a part of the BRL here in 2024, opening the floodgates to some of those metric classes and really allowing a vast group of riders from weekend warriors to everyday riders to even riders that take it seriously in a racing standpoint to come and join the BRL and really show what they've got on a national level, crisscrossing across the country. Like we said, the BRL will head out to California at the end of the year, out in November for the finale weekend. But we've got several different races between then that you guys are not going to want to miss, and we'll continue to touch on those throughout the coverage this weekend. We've got the Amateur National, I believe, the AMA Mac National out at Mid-Ohio coming up in just a couple of weeks. Of course, we've got the Canadian Invitational. That's going to be extremely fun to see, the first time that BRL goes beyond the borders of the US of A. But right now, we've got the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class getting ready to take their awards and chat it up with Tony Tucker, who's ready down on the podium.
All right, everybody, put your hands together. This is the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class, the most fun class out on the track this weekend. Chris Rivas, put that phone away. You trying to record all this?
No, just taking my notes.
Right on. We got your third place trophy. Let's go ahead and bring it in here. Chris.
Thanks, Chance.
Budget build here.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us how this thing went.
So eBay, just go and buy you a frame and a motor off of eBay, something really cheap, and either find a shop like me or somebody that can do all the machine work, and you can build a bike for, really it's $5,000 is what I got into that bike, and come out here and race. And I was talking to Chance from Barnett about this, and this is the heart of the sport that we were trying to create here with the BRL. So anybody can come and buy a bike or for less money, or build a bike and come out here and compete. I mean, this is my third race this year with this bike, and it's my third podium with this bike. So podium every time. And I'm not a road racer by trade. I'm a drag racer, a Bonneville salt flat racer. So for me to learn how to turn, it's just been a really new thing for me. But it's a ton of fun, man. It's just so much fun to chase these guys around and be chased.
I know you got some awesome sponsors and products behind you. Who do you need to thank?
Yeah, mostly my Rocket Performance Garage is, they're the ones that fund this whole thing. And then, of course, I definitely want to thank Barnett. He's been supporting me and my business and this class now, and it's been an incredible experience with them. S&S Cycle is also a business partner. They help out a lot. There's Bassani Exhaust Systems. Daryl Bassani's been a real special friend, and they help a lot with all the stuff that we do in road racing. And of course, I got to thank my wife. She's always out here with me. My crew chief helps with everything. But I just love the BRL, man. It's just so much fun.
Right on. Well, thank you for showing everybody that it can be done on a budget. So if you want to race, build a bike, get out here and race with us. Thank you. Everybody make some noise for Chris Rivas, our third place finisher. All right, second place finisher, Sean Hoffman. Chance, we got a second place trophy here coming in for you. Sean, I love your story. I love that you're a technician turned racer. I think it's awesome, man. Walk us through your race and tell us how it went.
Got a terrible start again, as always, and had to reel in Carl and Chris. Jake already checked out by then, which is normal. And followed Chris around for a little bit and found a chance to make a pass, and I took it. And that's the end of that.
Right on. Well, it was a great battle to watch, and it was a lot of fun, really exciting. I know you got a great team behind you. Who do you need to thank here today?
I got to thank my parents, of course, and Sly Fox, Suburban Motors, Bridgestone, Legends, Barnett for putting on the class and everything. Wouldn't be able to do it without them. DP Brakes, and a bunch of other people. There's so many people involved in this program, but we're here.
Right on, everybody. Hold that trophy high. Be proud of it. Everybody put your hands together for Sean Hoffman, our second place finisher. All right, Chance. One of the best for last here. Jake Masters, we got a #1 trophy here for you. Our first place finisher, Jake Masters. Jake, you're making it look easy out there. You're going undefeated on the season here. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I'm just having so much fun out there. This is the 4th time I've ever road raced, so I'm learning every single time I've been out there. I'm having so much fun. Hats off to Sean. He killed it today on the podium. I know he's built that bike from hands up, from scratch, so good on him. He's on the same page as everyone here, so yeah, it's been really fun.
I know you've got a great team over there. Who do you need to thank?
Need to thank Performance Machine, Joe from Suburban for building this bike. Thank Barnett Clutches for putting on this race and sponsoring this race. Thank you very much. Heatwave, FG, the list goes on, Sly Fox, Bridgestone, thank you very much for all being here. And thanks to BRL for putting on such an amazing event. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thanks again to Rob. Everyone put his hands together. Yeah, thank you. Let's keep this going. The more of you's here, the more of us racing, the longer we can do this.
Right on, everybody. Next up, we got our lightweight superbike class, but make some noise here for the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street Bagger class.
So great to hear from those top three out of the Super Street class. Jake Masters doing a great job continuing the undefeated streak, and he's 100% right, guys. Hats off to Rob Bitus and all of the entire crew here at BRL for creating this event and really making sure that we have the best opportunities to be able to have these kind of competitions. Like we heard, it is competition. It's serious, but it's also a lot of fun. These riders enjoy getting to see one another. They enjoy the opportunity to be able to compete against one another as well. And so, Jake Masters there getting everybody pumped up for it, getting the shots for the Instagram, and making sure everybody knows that he came out on top there in the Barnett Clutches and Cables Super Street class. Like Tony said, we're going to have our lightweight superbike class coming up next. So we will hear from our top three there and find out exactly how their race went. A lot of these riders got interesting stories. We talked about it some earlier in the day, some coming from motocross, supercross, some coming from a flat track background, some of them growing up road racing. So we've got stunt riders. We've got all different walks of life that come out. And if you are not super familiar with road racing or even riding a bike out on a track, we do have a school as well early in the weekend where riders are able to kind of get a little more comfortable as to how to properly race on a road course, regardless of their machine, how much experience they have. It's something that I suggest for anybody. If you are less than 100% confident that you know exactly the race rules, procedures as far as how to line up and how to safely be able to go out and race, that school is great for everybody. They have even have a little mock race at the end of it where they have some of the other racers that were not part of the school come in just to keep everybody a little more familiar with being in close proximity to other riders, yielding the race line if you're getting lapped, and just other basic racecraft knowledge, stuff like that maybe some people don't know if they've never lined up on a grid before. So BRL is a welcoming community. And it sounds like we've got Tony Tucker ready with the lightweight superbike class down on the podium.
All right, everybody, next up on the podium, we have our lightweight superbike class. Everybody make some noise for these guys. Great battles out on track today. Scott, you're getting pretty comfortable up here, aren't you?
I hope so. I got some work to do for tomorrow. Hopefully I can get my quick shifter going. It was kind of acting intermittent. Made it hard on this track. This track is super fun, super flowy, but with a bike, when you actually have to use the clutch, it gets a little wiggly, and it made it a little sketchy but fun.
Yeah, I know. It looked like you were having a good time out there. You were, mixing it up with Arch a little bit, and it's an exciting class. I love seeing this mix of bikes out here. I know you got a great team. Who do you need to thank?
Motorcycle Supply, Track Addicts guys, Leroy Enterprises, my own company, painting bikes all winter long to pay for this event. BRL, you guys are awesome, and Rocket Rob, keep up the awesome work, guys.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together for Scott Short, our third place finisher. All right, everybody, make some noise here for my favorite, Arch. I love this thing, man. Arch, you're getting comfortable up on this podium too, so walk us through that race.
Oh, I wish I was getting comfortable, but I'm pushing it. I'm trying to come for Brett up here. He's over here kicking my butt. But I see him up there. He's my rabbit. One day, maybe, I'm trying, he's up there. But I had a blast. Once again, I was chasing the same guy, Jamie, out there on his SV650. I was chasing him. He's in a different class, luckily, but we diced it up for a little bit. I drew back. He found a really good line, really good rhythm out there, and I was out there just trying to hold it back, make sure Scott wasn't out there going to try to pass me on the last lap there. So had a blast.
Right on. throw some thanks to those that are helping you get out here.
So quick thanks. Once again, I'd like to thank my parents. Always going to thank my parents. Underground Team Racing. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your all's support. My team, my family, you guys are number one out there. Once again, I'd like to thank the Marine Corps. You guys are badass. Once again, I'd like to thank Cycle Gear. All my coworkers. Last time I said my staff, I forgot the word for coworkers. So all my coworkers out there, thank you for tuning in and watching, and thank you for the family, friends, and tuning in and watching too. And also, one last thing: make sure you click or call before you dig. For Missouri 811, Kansas 811, Nebraska 811.
Right on, everybody. Make some noise here for Arch York. Got that number 2 trophy there. All right, our top finisher here, Brett Folkerts. You made it look easy out there. You kind of checked out on him. But walk us through, where you were at, kind of getting into the race and where your head's at.
Sure, yeah. I didn't get any laps really in anger this morning, so getting out there, kind of learning where the wet spots are, where there was grip. But luckily I was able to get a really good start, put my head down, made a couple mistakes, but kind of looked behind me, make sure they weren't creeping back up, and then just kind of ran my race and let them battle each other and leave me out of it.
Right on. I know you got some great sponsors. Who do you need to thank today?
Sure, yeah, all the guys over at Motorcycle Supply. It's a kind of a big family over there. Scott, Sarah, and Sydney here pitting with me. And then, everybody that helps us get out here.
Right on, everybody. Make some noise for your podium finishers here. We got your number 1 trophy for your lightweight superbike class.
So great stuff chatting it up with the lightweight superbike class. And you can see the little bit of friendly camaraderie and competitiveness between one another. Everybody, the guy in second wants to be the guy in first. The guy in third, he'd take being the guy in second, but he wants to be the guy in first as well. So a lot of these riders' friends, many of them traveling across the country. I know we had a lot of the 811 group there from Nebraska making their way over. They really enjoyed the opening rounds of BRL a few weeks ago and said, you know what, we're making the trip out to Michigan here for rounds 3 and 4. So we're excited to have them, and it's always great when you've got riders that enjoy being around one another as well. There's no hard feelings. Nobody can't get along with one another or anything like that. So always great to see the sportsmanship and camaraderie between those racers as we get ready for our next podium. It looks like they're figuring out exactly who shows up, who goes where, and we'll get all of that worked out here and get it back down to the podium. Like we said, folks, if you have not already, you need to follow Bagger Racing League. That is at Bagger Racing League on Instagram. And sounds like they're getting everybody corralled up and back up to the podium for the next class. And like I said, Bagger Racing League on Instagram. Of course, baggerracingleague.com to find out all of the events going on this year throughout the rest of the year. Like we said, following this weekend, we've got round 4 tomorrow, and then the next points-paying event for the Bagger Racing League Series will be in November out in California. Definitely not going to want to miss that. One of the most sought-after locations and top spots out there in Cali, and I'm sure it'll make for some more great racing, especially after the fantastic year that we've had so far here in 2024. And it looks like Tony Tucker is ready down at the podium. Tony, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, we're down here with our middleweight superbike top spot finisher, Jamie Hansen. We got that number 1 trophy here. That's another one on the day. Here you go. Jamie, walk us through that race.
I didn't know exactly who I was racing against, but I just went out and raced against the other class, and had a blast again with Arch and did what I got to do, I guess.
Yeah, it's a mixed class, so you're not sure who's in what class, but you're just out there just banging bars with whoever's next to you. So who do you need to thank today?
LM2, Trackside Labs, Affordable Bail Bonds, DP Brakes, the BRL, Dad, all my friends and everyone back home that supported me.
Right on, everybody. Make some noise for Jamie Hansen, our first place finisher in the middleweight superbike class. Next up is our air-cooled twins class.
All right, so a huge shout-out to Jamie, getting double dipping, right? Grabbing a lot of hardware here on the BRL Racing weekend. we've got our air-cooled twins coming up next, and so we'll be chatting it up with them as soon as they get put in place. But always nice to be able to get the job done, not only in one class but in multiple. And so Jamie Hansen having some success there, really able to put things together here for day one of racing. Can't wait to see what he's able to do for day two. As we get everybody set up, this air-cooled twins class, a little bit of a unlimited class in the sense that we've got several different kinds of bikes that you can even see have made the podium. So always nice to hear what the riders have to say about their bikes, what they chose to bring to the battle. Obviously a little bit of the run what you brung type mentality, and sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out in your favor, but nonetheless, you have a good time. And like I said, these riders are not only pushing themselves to the limits, but they're also pushing these machines to the limits. A lot of them have not been put in race environments before. Not all of these have gone out and done track days or events like that where they're really pushing the machines to the absolute limits. So it's always nice to hear from the riders that are doing just that. And it looks like we've got the bikes up on the stand. So we're going to turn it down to Tony Tucker on the podium with your air-cooled twins class.
Everybody put your hands together. This is our air-cooled twins class, podium finishers. Jake McGuire coming home in that third spot. Mad respect for out there on a soft tail. Tell us how your race went.
I'm still trying to learn what the hell I'm doing, but it was awesome following these fast guys around. Just built a bike in the garage, came out, gave it my best shot.
I know you got some great sponsors supporting you. Who do you need to thank?
My motorcycle club, Grim Reapers MC, Harley Davidson Bowling Green. My wife and daughter got to come out for this one. They've been hugely supportive along with the rest of my family. RC Components helped me out. Twisted Tea Industries down in Texas. Easy Cheesy Pizza and Electric Tattoo Company.
Gotta love pizza. Put your hands together for Jake McGuire. We got that third place trophy here for you. All right, our second place finisher, Chris Rivas, my favorite old man. Keeping this Buell XB on the track. I love it. And, walk us through how it is out there on the Buell.
It's actually like what it's made to do, right? The Buell XB series is just incredible. It turns, it does everything you want. You can actually drag your knee, even as a semi-novice doing it out there. It's stupid fast, and it's only 85 horsepower. So, Jake takes off from the starting line. He's got my number. He just takes off. I mean, he's just so fast I couldn't do nothing with it. So I just kind of paced myself, stayed behind him a little bit, for a lap, and saw kind of where he was lacking maybe a little bit just because of experience, because, he's killing it right now. He's doing such a great job. And then I just saw him kind of go a little bit wide, and I was able to cut underneath with this bike that handles so crazy, and got my little 85 horsepower wound up and came in second place. So it was a really good day, a lot of fun.
Yeah, and give those that need the love some love.
Yeah, on this one right here, this is all my wife and I. This is a family project. We literally bought this bike. So we talked about the bagger thing being a real budget. This thing we bought also for $3,500. It was completely stock, just like it still is, and do tires, come out and race. So my wife and I, my business, Rocket Performance Garage, supports us always, and we're just out here having fun as old people.
I gotta love it. $8,500 and 2 podiums. Yeah. That's how it's done. Put your hands together for our second place finisher, Chris Rivas. All right, Tony Bangma, just checking out, making it look too easy. Home track advantage. Walk us through what you were going through out there.
We tried a few new things on the bike this morning and just kind of wanted to make sure it was working, and we just put my head down and wasn't looking back.
Well, it was obviously working because you had checked out on the rest of the field. I know you got a great team and some support behind you. Who do you need to thank?
Brony's Furniture for sure. Grand Rapids, Michigan put an incredible bike together for us. Rapid Cycle Works, Rhino Power Sports Supplements, Bison Track for leathers and shirts, CD Boots, EBC Brakes, Michelin Tires, and Motion Pro. I think that's it.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together. Make some noise for Tony Bangma and your top 3 finishers here in the air-cooled twins class. Next up, we're going to have our Zippers Performance ATU class podium finishers in just a few minutes.
All right, so a great job there from Tony and the rest of the field. That's both Tony Bangma and Tony Tucker, of course, doing a great job out there getting the word from the top 3 in all of our classes. Like he said, the American Twins Unlimited class coming up next, and we'll get to find out exactly what it took for your top 3 finishers to get on the box. We had some great racing in the ATU class as well, as now the sun really coming out here at Gingerman Raceway. Going to have everything dried up and tip-top shape for tomorrow's racing action. If you guys haven't already, you need to set the reminder, set your notifications on for Racer TV. That way you know each and every time we go live, regardless of the racing action that we'll be broadcasting. But tomorrow we'll be back at 1 p.m. Eastern for all of the BRL racing action that you guys could ever hope for. And we want to make sure, if you haven't already, please check out some of our great sponsors that we've got here for the Bagger Racing League. We've got so many great people that help put on this series, help put on each one of these individual events. And so we want you to give us love, all right? Of course, support BRL, but support those that are supporting the series as well. Like we said, it takes a lot of belief, a lot of effort, all the way from Drag Specialties, which is the title sponsor on board for the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. Like we said, Paula Fox should be online watching us. I saw her leaving some comments and saying how much she was enjoying the coverage, so we wish she was here in person, but glad that she's able to enjoy the coverage down from home. And we're going to send things down to the podium once again with Tony Tucker.
All right, everybody. This is the last class of the day. Put your hands together for our Zippers Performance ATU class. Craig Braymiller bringing home 3rd place. I know this is a new motorcycle to you guys this year. Walk us through the race and how that motorcycle's feeling.
Yeah, bike's feeling great. I started from the last row. We had some issues in qualifying, but just kind of picking through traffic, and then I was chasing down the dude in Dyna. He was riding real well, but ran off track a little bit, so I just kept my head down, kept a good gap, and tried to chase after these guys, but they're hauling the mail today.
Yeah, I know you got a great team and some support. Who do you need to thank today?
Scott and Adam at A+ Performance Cycle, Geezer Engineering, Andreas keeps the bike handling great for us, Larry at DP Brakes and Clutches, Noon Performance Inc., Cantergola Law Firm, the 13 Monkeys American Whiskey, Escarpment Arms, Saddleman, and Fueling Parts.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together. We got a 3rd place trophy here for you. Craig Braymiller. All right, everybody, make some noise. Got this beautiful Buell up here again. Matt Laurent. Matt, walk us through the Unlimited class race.
Yeah, I had a better start. So Tony's actually been pretty instrumental in teaching me how to race and racecraft, and just went out there and tried to chase Tony.
I know you got some great support. Who do you need to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Buell and Vortex for making it, possible for me to be out here. I want to thank Bridgestone for the support they gave me this weekend and getting my setups dialed in. So for Heroic Racing for my leathers and Forma for my boots.
Right on, everybody. Put your hands together and make some noise for our 2nd place finisher, Matt Laurent. All right, Tony. You didn't have to go far.
Yeah.
Back on the top spot here for our Unlimited class. Walk us through. You made it look easy again, but walk us through that race.
I really wanted to get a good start, and I didn't. So my whole focus was just to get out front and put down the fastest laps I could, and hopefully nobody chased me down.
Well, I know you got a great team. Who do you need to thank today?
Brony's Furniture again, Rapid Cycle Works, Rhino Power Sports Supplements, Bison Leathers for leathers and shirts, and Motion Pro, Blood Lubricants, Michelin Tires, EBC Brakes.
All right, everybody, that's our last podium of the day. Put your hands together. This is the Zippers Performance American Twins Unlimited class. I'm going to send it back up to the booth to Zach.
All right, thanks, Tony, and that will wrap up the podium celebrations. They're going to grab the Insta Bangers, as I like to say. Got to get the photos there for that Zippers American Twins Unlimited class, wrapping up the podium celebrations for us. And with that, it is going to wrap up the racing action here from day one out in beautiful South Haven, Michigan, here at Gingerman Raceway. We want to thank all of you guys for watching us. You're going to show exactly what you guys, maybe you're a little late to the party and you just joined. Let me show you what you missed out on, as we had some great racing. I believe this is the Super Street class we're looking at right now, where Carl Schlacht and Jake Masters were almost side-by-side headed into turn number 1. Jake would later go on to grab the race win. We had a lot of great turnouts, a lot of our riders from rounds 1 and 2, several new riders into the mix as well. We've got different backgrounds, different kinds of riders, all out here having a great time. And guess what, folks? We get to do it all over again tomorrow. That's right, this is day 1 of 2. Rounds 3 and 4 are both going down this weekend, and you guys get to watch each and every second of it live on racertv.com. So we hope you guys tune back in with us. You get to see it. Yeah, that was right. That was all my GNCC fans out there. That was a KTM. They go fast on the street as well. So we got some supermotos in the mix, lots of different classes, and really excited to share the world of Bagger Racing League with all of the fans and families out here on Racer TV. We've got our evening festivities coming up, and after that, we'll be sure to let you guys know on exactly how much fun we had post-checkered flag here from day 1. But until then, my name is Zach Herron for everybody with the Bagger Racing League. I'm going to give a shout-out to our RacerTV.com partners as well, executive producer Carrie Jo Russell, of course our producer Adam Gordon, OPAG in the booth, our director Don Hampton, all of our camera operators. We've got Mike Nichols, JC Nagel, Leah Myers, Fritz Kroc, Corey Chamberlain, Rebecca King, and Bruce McPherson, all out there, of course, with our drone pilot Gabe Schull as well. Our EIC and second engineers, Jack Renner and Jordan McFadden, and of course AG Video bringing you all of the film and broadcast here. For Tony Tucker, my name is Zach Herron up here in the Tucker Speed Studio. We'll see you guys out tomorrow afternoon for day 2 of the Bagger Racing League.